Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I don't know what I think of my mask. It is Halloween after all, so happy Halloween to everyone who's watching. And we're doing a very special event today, which is the second year of doing it. Hopefully, you can hear me through the mask, or is it a mask, or do I just turn this way at Halloween? And it is the Chess 24 Monster Mystery Chess Tournament. So we've got some incredibly strong players in the competition, but we don't know who they are. And I even don't know who some of the players are. But they're only going to take their costume off when they lose. So, as well as enjoying the show and watching, and I can't give away any of the names of the players, you've got to guess who are playing the games. So it's really quite a fun event. I'm here with a legend of chess as well, co-presenting. Evil Bear. How are you doing, Evil Bear? Are you having a good
Hi,
Halloween, Evil Bear?
hi Simon. I was having a good Halloween until I had to put this mask on, and I can't really see anything or breathe really. So yeah, I don't know if this mask is going to last very long.
The things we do for entertainment, how hey, Mr. Dodgy, the things we do.
Yeah,
So yeah. So I have this. It's quite a cool mask, Mr. Dodgy. I do like it.
it's not that different from my face, so like I don't think anyone's going to notice too much of a difference if I just take it off. I think I'll be fine.
I do realise you're pretty hairy nowadays as well, yeah. So you got a hairy mask, but you've got rather a hairy face as well, yeah. So this is
Yeah, I mean this is mostly just beard. There's very little mask there to be honest. It's
yeah,
just
just bit. Uh, anyway, hello to everyone in the chat as well. So it is a special event this, and I'm just keeping an eye on the Twitch chat. Twitch.tv/GingerGM is where I'll be looking at the comments. But it's a really fun event this, and happy Halloween to everyone. I'm also struggling a little bit to breathe, but I'm sure I'll get some oxygen in at some point. Mr. Dodgy is, like I say, going to be co-hosting along with myself. And yeah, did you do the last year's event, Mr. Dodgy? What are your feelings
uh
about this event? Did I
I
miss
did.
anything out?
I wasn't involved with it last year, but I did watch it, and it was really good fun. I think it's a really good idea. I think this should be like a regular tournament. Maybe not with masks, but like the anonymous part of it, I think is really interesting. Even though last year I think the two highest rated players still did get to the final. But I think it gives some people an advantage because like some people are scarier than others. And if you
That is
don't know
true.
that you're playing the scary guy, then maybe you play better.
That is right. So the players don't know who they're playing either, right? That's the other thing.
That's
So
right.
we don't know, and the games, by the way, have started. So they're off, and we can see them on the board now. So we have no idea who these players are. And then start with a Halloween Gambit. Oh my words,
Perfect.
Mr. Dodgy, we have the Halloween Gambit on the board now. I'm gonna try guessing who these players are. Now, only a lunatic, Mr. Dodgy, would play knight takes e5, right? So it must be a lunatic who's playing white here. That's what I'm gathering, right? That's what I'm
Yeah,
gathering.
I think so. There's some. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to do it, though, don't
It should
you?
be Halloween themed. They all should be playing this, really, ideally. But this is the famous Halloween Gambit. And Tiger Troll is 3 minute chess. They're only playing three games of 3 minute. I think that's right, isn't it, Mr. Dodgy? That they got
Yeah,
3 minutes on
it's
the clock.
best of three, and if they're tied 1.5 each, we play one Armageddon game.
And look at them, look at their faces as well. I'm loving the faces that are playing, which is great. So we got Bloody Bear there against Ghostface. So you guys can already try to guess who the players are. Now we do know that Bloody Bear has gone for the Halloween Gambit, so he's obviously a bit of a nutter. So what nutters do we have? Are we allowed to say who was actually
Yeah,
in the tournament?
we can say which players are in it, but we don't know who.
Okay, cool. Shall I let you go through the players? Is that all right?
Yep. So we've got Anish Giri I think he's the highest rated, although Duda is pretty close. And we have Gawain Jones, we have Jan Gustafsson, we have Srinath Narayanan, and we have 3 qualifiers who have their names somewhere. Soham Kamotra and Pranav V. And possibly not a third qualifier because I don't think he wanted to play. Maybe he didn't have a mask, and that might have been the problem.
So someone qualified for this tournament, but he was such a cheapskate, he didn't want to buy a mask, and therefore he's not playing. That's not cool. I don't think that's cool. So no, a bit disappointing that, hey. So
But I can definitely sympathize with not wanting to play in a mask.
It's not easy in a mask, I have to say, but it is quite fun. So we don't know who the players are. I mean, I'm trying to guess, could this be Anish with the white pieces? That's one thing I'm thinking. Could Anish play the Halloween Gambit? Would that be like him? Do we think?
I think he likes to troll a bit, so he could definitely play it. But then, like, Duda seems most likely.
I would go for that Duda. And looking at the other names, just seeing who else we got. We got Gawain, I think Gawain Jones, right?
Yeah.
We got Jan's playing, is that right?
Yeah, Jan's playing. Jan's not going to play the Halloween Gambit.
Yeah, Jan will never sacrifice the Halloween Gambit.
No.
I mean, like, could you imagine his reaction if someone played the Halloween Gambit against him?
I think he'd be very happy. I think you just take the piece and
win. Well, I think Black is actually doing quite badly in this game, right? So it looks like the Halloween Gambit has worked. So good work.
Do you think it's a playable Gambit? Do you think it's worth learning?
Well, anything's playable, but I wouldn't recommend Magnus plays it against Nepo, for example, in the World Championships. Maybe keep it to Blitz chess, I would say. So it's a great way to start anyway. So am I right in thinking, so we got these pairings, so the identities are only going to be revealed when a player loses. So they're playing 3 games of 3-minute blitz, and if that's a draw, 1.5 all, they play a playoff. So and it's a knockout competition, and it's quite decent prize money as well, right, Mr. Dodgy? Is that correct?
Yep, that's all correct. They have to take the mask off if they lose, or they get to take the mask off if they lose. That could be like a consolation prize, because the winner's not allowed. I don't think the winner should be allowed to take the mask off even in between games. They should have to walk around their house, should go for a break, they have to keep it on. But yeah, the prize money is
shot.
Yeah, if they go out, I don't think they'll have time to go out anywhere, but
no.
But yeah, the prize money, I think there's $2,000 for first place. I think it's dollars. I don't know. I never ask. 2,000 of something.
I think probably dollars by looks at it. Probably dollars. So yeah. But it's good money, yeah. So that's for first place. The first place is $2,000. That's not bad. That is not bad. I'm just looking at the position here, Mr. Dodgy, and I see that Black has just grabbed that pawn on e5. It looks like I'm guessing White's a bit of a hacker. It's clear that White's a hacker, right? So your suggestion of Duda, that's quite good. So I'm just looking at the hackers in the field. I don't know. I think this is likely to be Duda. Do we have any suggestions out there who this could be? Now, hello, Yabjorn in the chat and everyone else in the chat on my Twitch channel. It's a bit of an extension of Friday, Yabjorn, if you know what I'm saying this. It feels like it anyway. But it's just, we'll keep that to ourselves. Now, the skeleton with the red mask, with the red beard, well, I don't think there's many people with this red beard, is there? So it's kind of obvious. You know, you got me here. Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to be a clown again. I saw your video from a couple of years ago where you were dressed as a clown. That was pretty good.
The clown was pretty good, I have to say. Yeah. Well, the idea, I was going to try to make the room all dark, and then I was going to try to turn this light mask on when things got, when it got really interesting and we thought someone was like winning. But it's actually, my mask also broke but it kind of looks like I've just had a little cut on the head there. So anyway, it looks to me, just going back to the chess here, that Ghostface, and we can see Ghostface looking very calm there. You can see right through his soul, can't you? Right through that mouth to his background in the video. Ghostface really could be a ghost, actually. Straight through to the background. It seems to me like Black is doing quite well in this game.
I think I'm going to have to root for Ghostface in this match.
Oh, you've got your Ghostface mask on now. I can see it.
I do have more than one mask, but I can't really breathe in any of them.
It's tricky, isn't it? It is very tricky. I'm wondering how if Bloody Bear can actually see in his mask.
Yeah, I can't even see where his eyes are.
That's what I'm wondering, because he played quite well at the start, but then it all went wrong, and I'm wondering if he just went blind. If literally Bloody Bear could not see a thing during the game.
Yeah, he might not have known that the e5 pawn was defended, and he just thought, "Oh, free pawn."
Exactly. Yeah.
He's been made.
Oh dear, that's a nice checkmate as well, right? With the rook either coming here checkmate or coming to h1 checkmate, depending where the king goes. So if the king goes here, that would be a checkmate. And if the king goes here, that would be a checkmate. So very nice game from Ghostface. But we have to give Bloody Bear some points for his Halloween gambit. If we look at the opening, the way the opening went, it started off with the 4 knights, and we have the Halloween gambit, knight takes e5. Hello to Blair in the chat. I don't think Ravi Harrier is playing. We can name some of the players we know. So we think Anish is the top seeded player, right? And then we got Duda, Gawain, Jan, Srinath, and Pranav. Anyone else we can name that I missed out there?
Soham is the other qualifier.
We have the next game has started, has it? Right. Okay. Here we go. Right. So I'm just going to go through the moves on the top. So we now know that Bloody Bear, and let's just have a look at the moves. Oh, well, Ghostface is not going for the Halloween gambit here. He's playing much more positional.
Is this allowed? Is he allowed not to play it when you get the chance?
It's a bit rude if his opponent plays it and then he doesn't play it, I think. So I'm thinking Ghostface is quite a sensible chap. Oh, but he has played h4. Okay, h6, bishop f4, bishop g7, and this is the current position with Ghostface 1 point up. Who is Ghostface? So Yabjorn is thinking it could be Anish Giri. It could be Anish Giri. And we're seeing Blair reckons that, well, he's saying that the Halloween gambit is something that Gawain Jones has played before even. Locker guy saying Ghostface could be Gawain Jones.
Yeah, I could see Anish like playing the black side of the Halloween gambit and then just winning, and then but then the next game I don't think he's going to play like this.
No,
not in a game where he doesn't need to win.
No, I mean a draw's good. A draw's a good result, isn't it, in this one? So
a draw's not enough though. They'll still play the third game.
They still play the third game, right? So we're still unsure who the players are, and e5 now on the board.
There's a lot of people guessing Gawain.
A lot of people guessing Gawain. Yeah. It's a decent guess, but they're saying Ghostface is Gawain, the player of the white pieces. So interesting. I wonder if you can tell by the shirts they're wearing, Mr. Dodgy, because there's a very nice checkered shirt going on there, isn't there, from Bloody Bear? You know, he's got, you know, that's could be a bit of a redneck at heart, maybe. Do we feel with that shirt? Could be redneck in it.
Could be.
Bishop takes f3 played, and we're into an ending where white is a pawn up, but do we think black's got enough play here? What do you reckon? I mean, these pawns are double.
Yeah, this looks pretty good for black.
Looks okay, but it is this extra pawn, I guess. So, but I mean, it should be all right for black, even if you double back the pawns and maybe move the knight in. Okay, well, the knight's come here, and he's trying to get the knight into d4 in this position. So we're going this way.
So
Um,
how do you deal with Rook B8?
Rook B8. How do I deal with that? Well, he didn't play it, so I don't have to worry about it. The answer is I wasn't sure. Rook B8 seemed like a very good move. This I'm not so sure about because after knight D1, White's sort of consolidating. He might be able to go C3 and kick that bishop away now, right? So I mean, I suppose Black, yeah, maybe just C3 here. If I play C3, White could be on the verge of. Well, looks like he's doing quite well.
Yeah, and now C5 is going to drop as well.
Yeah, I mean, Black can grab this pawn over here, which he's had to do. But King E2, and you can just blockade with a piece on E3. And it does seem like White's pawns are going to be quite nice there. I think the player, the white pieces, is a very sensible player. I'm getting that. He's really solid. He's consolidating. It could be a niche. It could be a niche, right?
Could be.
Now, Locker Guide is saying Bloody Bear is GM Srinath. That could be possibility. And
well, Srinath, I did talk to Srinath earlier, and he said he can't disguise his openings. He refuses to, and which means he's going to play the Catalan.
He's going to play the Catalan, right? So it's unlikely it's him.
I think they shouldn't be allowed to play different openings in these tournaments. Like if you play the Catalan, like Adiban should have to play B3 every single game, so we can guess properly.
Yes, yeah. If Adiban was doing it, it would be very easy to guess, right? With his B3. And maybe the question that I'm struggling with here is: do skeletons have beards? What do you reckon? Do skeletons have beards?
I don't think they usually talk, so I don't think we need to follow the rules too strictly. No. Oh, this looks like it's almost over.
It does. I think it looks like Ghostface could be going through to the next round. And just to clarify, the players don't know who they're playing either, do they? No one's got any idea.
The players don't know who they're playing, and the pairings were random. So
it's random. Okay.
They can't like work out based on ratings.
On rating or anything. Okay. Well, maybe Black's got some drawing chances here. I mean, with the idea of blockading this pawn, but it should be very good winning chances. Now, there's an idea of a knight check here, which Black's got to watch out for. And with the white king so nicely centralized, if this pawn can come up the board, it's going to be a very tricky position. I mean, I guess this should be winning for white, but it's the time situation. Is there any increment at all?
It's 3+2, I believe.
3+2. So there is 2 seconds move increment. Okay. So Black can try to get some counterplay maybe against the F pawns in this ending. On the other hand, I think White's idea here will be at the right moment, maybe just to go knight E4 and C5, because you've got a pass pawn. Pass pawns should be pushed. But at the moment, the bishop is guarding that pawn. So we need to just guard the C5 square. And that's how I'd probably think about progressing here. And the point is, knight E4's got a nasty trick of rook F7 as well, right? Yeah.
That is nasty.
Or even this one. So maybe. Okay. But he's very greedy, the player of the white pieces. He's trying to take everything. Who's the greediest player, do we think, in the competition?
Anish is pretty greedy. He likes to grab pawns and just keep them. Although Jan likes to grab pawns as well. So this could be Jan.
It could be Jan. We think Jan's a bit of a pawn grabber, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
He likes to grab rooks as well. So if he goes a rook up in this endgame, then it could definitely be Jan.
It's definitely Jan if he goes rook up. Most people like grabbing rooks, don't they?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I see a rook, I'll probably grab it, if I can.
That's a good policy.
It's normally a safe one, isn't it? So, rook C6. Okay, Black's still holding on here, just about. How should White proceed now? Because Black's getting a little bit of counterplay. Okay, now the rook comes back. How does White do this?
So I guess you have to keep an eye on the two F pawns, even though they look weak. Yeah. Like you can't just let them go. because that G-pawn could be quite fast.
Definitely. And so this is, I think Black's really fighting back here, actually, right? Because now you're right, the G pawn is coming straight down the board. So definitely. Still in the balance, 15 seconds versus 20 seconds here at this moment. Black putting up some very good defense. Maybe King E2 was also interesting there to take the bishop. Is he going to win this one? There could be another pawn going now. A little bit of danger, but that C pawn's getting very close here, isn't it, Mr. Dodgster?
Yeah, this doesn't look like. I mean, I guess you want to win the F pawn and then give up the bishop, and then hope that your 2 pawns can run. But yeah, it doesn't seem very likely.
Oh, he's gone C7 straight away. So can you queen now? Well, we're going to find out and just try to queen the A pawn in time. This is okay.
Yeah, this looks.
Yeah, you're queening with check as well, aren't you? So that is going to be check when it comes down. This could be it. And there goes the pawn. It's always handy having extra pieces in these positions. Okay, well, there we go. That's our first match done already. So white Ghostface is through. And what now happens, everyone, is that the loser, this is your last time to guess who the loser is, because I believe we're going to try to get them onto the show and they are going to let us know who they are. So who is the Bloody Bear? That is what we're wondering at the moment. And get your final guesses in. Now, Jen's Chess says Gawain is the bear. Interesting. So are we going to find out? Are we going to find out soon? I think so. So, and the next match, by the way, they keep coming on. We're going to keep playing the matches as we go, and until we only have one winner left. So it's a knockout competition, and we can now know that Ghostface is through to the next round. So cool stuff. And let me just see, make sure I'm not missing anything.
It looks like they're both joining now.
Oh, they're both joining. Okay. Good. And I guess the winner does. We don't really want to hear the winner speak, though, do we?
No, we can't hear the winner speak.
Okay.
Well, maybe we could, but
it might give it away.
Yeah.
And this mask might be coming off as well soon.
unless the winner's like really good at impressions, that could throw us off.
It'd have to be really good, wouldn't it?
He does like a really good Kramnik impression.
Okay, so we're just seeing if we're going to get, I think it's been set up now, the 2 players, we're going to see who we have on, who the winner is. The winner is obviously a very strong player there, kept his calm a lot. The loser's a very strong player as well, but who is the loser going to be? And I bet the loser, Bloody Bear, is going to be very happy to get that mask off, right? Because it must be boiling in that mask. So I think we have the 2 players now in, Mr. Dodgy. And hello, Bloody Bear. How are you doing on this Halloween? Can you hear me?
Just about. Not much gets through this mask.
Not much gets through the mask. Okay. Now that voice I recognize. So anyone else in the chat recognize that voice? And it is certainly a player whose King's Indian Defense course you might want to buy, or you should buy. It's not David Howe. David Howe is elsewhere at the moment. Shall we do the reveal? Bloody Bear, do you want to reveal yourself to the public? I feel a bit like Simon Cowell now or something saying that.
Mask.
Take that, whip the mask off. Come on, let's have it off. Off.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Oh.
Hey.
Wow.
That was a tough match. Who do you think you played? you have a
I
guess?
don't know. Someone who, played better than me. I was disappointed I didn't get a proper Halloween gambit in the first game. Felt only right and proper to play it. But,
Well, I have to say, Gawain, we did say it was a very brave player playing that, and you definitely should get bonus points for playing the Halloween Gambit. It's very disappointing your opponent bottled it and in that one, but he did play well. But you probably had quite a nice position from the Halloween there at some point.
I can't complain about the opening. It went very well. But
yeah, it went very well. And
falling apart. The second game too, I thought was going well until
at some point, yeah. Yeah, so it was all right. So a bit of a baptism of fire there, Gawain.
Yeah.
But, okay, so if you have to put a name on who you're playing, and I'll tell you some of the players you could be playing. It could be Anish, Duda, Jan, Shrinath. Any one of them? Would you put a name on?
I thought I wasn't playing a GM from the. There was that sneaky thing on Chess24. So I have no idea who I was playing. My openings went well, which they don't normally do. So
do you think you were playing someone who had weak openings?
At least I don't think it was Anish.
Because the openings were too poor for Anish.
At least I was surviving still after my openings, which doesn't normally happen when I play Anish.
Well, this is interesting. So Gawain doesn't think it was Anish because the openings, and I'm not quoting Gawain on this. This is me. Were a little bit too weak. So, but he played very well after that. So it's very interesting. Maybe someone who could we say someone who's maybe not up with the latest openings then? I'm trying to be a bit of Sherlock Holmes here.
We did have this last year with Vieco from Chessable, and he said that I don't think he played very well. I don't think it was a Grandmaster. And it turned out it was Peter Swidler. So.
But he lost Vieco by saying that as
well. He did lose.
So, okay, that's funny.
Some endgame specialist who beat me both times in the endgame.
So. An endgame specialist. Okay, so in the chat we've got Shrinath. Anyone else want to have a little chat? A little guess? Blair is going for Jan. Okay, Jen's Chess is saying Jan. Interesting. And we can say, I think Ghostface is actually in the interview, but we can't hear him because obviously that'd give it away. But he does seem very calm, doesn't he? He's not giving much emotion away. I can't see an emotion in that face there anyway. So nothing there. He's not giving anything away. But Gawain, thank you so much. Are you going to be doing anything else for Halloween today?
I think I might go around to the neighbours, make some use and scare all the kids with the bear mask.
That sounds like fun. Scaring kids always seems like a lovely pastime to do. So go and scare some kids, Gawain. And Mr. Dodgy, do you have any more questions for Gawain there?
Nope. I think we're good. Oh, did your daughter like the mask? You said she was a little bit scared of it.
Nah, she was petrified.
It's a bit too young.
Yeah.
So you've already had experience of scaring kids today, Gawain?
Yeah.
Okay. Well done on your kid scaring day, and I hope the rest of your kid scaring day goes as well as it has done so far. So, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Gawain. Everyone, thank you to Gawain Jones, and if Gawain, one of the strongest players in England, and his course on the King's Indian Defence is a brilliant course if you want to learn one of the most exciting openings out there. Really great reviews. So highly recommended on Chessable. Go and give it a little check out. Now I might have to demask here because my breathing's becoming a little bit harder as I'm going on. Pretty sure it's not COVID, but maybe taking the mask off will help me decide that. And the next match I think starting quite soon, isn't it? Is that right? Who are the names of the next match? Do we know?
The next match is Fearface against Devil Monster. So that gives nothing away.
Okay. Right. So I'm just waiting for the comments to say, "Oh, please put your mask back on. You look a lot scarier now." But I can breathe. Oh my words. That is so nice, isn't it? So nice to be able to breathe.
Yeah, you lasted a lot longer than I did. So, well done.
Well, it's only a flimsy mask, but it's. Are you going to be scaring any kids later, Mr. Dodgy?
No, I live hundreds of miles from any other humans, so it's hard for me to go like trick or treating.
Okay.
It's like a real marathon to get to the next house.
Have you tried scaring the local horses at all, or is that not really? That's not very nice, is it? Really?
No, you're not supposed to scare horses.
No, no, because they don't.
They
know what's
don't
going on.
much care for it.
No, kids is okay, but not horses. So,
Yep.
Okay. Well, so the next game. So, which two players do we have next up? Then, did you say it was? I'm just trying to find it. Fear Face. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's Devil Monster. I love the names that we got. Devil Monster. So I'm wondering what masks these guys are going to be wearing now. So be very interesting. We'll have them on very shortly.
I haven't seen both of these masks, or I've seen one of them, I think. So
okay.
Yeah, it could be anything.
It could be, yeah. And I wonder if how far Chess24 and Chessable are stretching their budget on these masks. Are we going to see some latex masks come out? Maybe
I think we should they should advance every year, and we should get to the point where we're doing like full prosthetics.
Look at this. Sorry, I'm just looking at the faces now. Yeah, full prosthetics would be brilliant. Yeah. I think it'd be quite interesting if the players dressed up as other chess players in prosthetics. That'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? And just try to copy their style. That'd be really confusing, yeah?
That would be pretty good.
Well, it does look, okay, just, doing my Sherlock Holmes thing, and I don't know who the players are, but Fearface has quite a professional setup there. That looks like a proper green screen he's got going on behind him, do we reckon?
It does look like he does a lot of streaming, I would guess. He looks comfortable. He's got the camera. I mean, not the camera, the microphone. He obviously has a camera as well, because we can see him.
And yes, it's handy they got a camera. Does help.
Devil Monster looks like he's got his skin, his chest is the same color as the mask.
I know, it's quite worrying. That it's very good costume, I have to say. And is there a costume award for this one? Do we have any awards for the best costume?
No, we should really do that.
I think we should. I mean, our Devil Monster's looking very good there, and Fearface is good as well. They're very good masks, very nice masks, good stuff. So, do we have any guesses so far who these two players are? Anyone in the chat want to guess who they are? I don't actually know who they are. This is actually making it a bit more interesting for me, not knowing who the players are. Mr. Dodgy, I probably should know, but I don't. Do you know who the players are?
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
No, both of them are.
So there is a prediction. It could be Magnus versus Nepo. Is that possible?
I tried to make that happen, but they were both... they said they've got something on next month that they wanted to get ready. It didn't make sense to me because it's only October, but they said they were preparing for some kind of event next month. I don't know.
That just seems like a poor excuse to me, to be honest. A very poor excuse, I think, that one. Something on next month. What could they be doing that's more important than the Halloween special? I mean, it makes no sense at all. Thanksgiving, could that be what it is? Christmas? I think it's Magnus's birthday next month.
Oh, that must be it. Yeah, they're getting ready for Magnus's birthday.
That's it. They're both. So Nepo's preparing to go over to Magnus's house for his birthday, yeah? And Magnus is getting the party. Have you got it? Do you think you're getting an invite to Magnus's birthday party?
I don't think that's very likely.
You don't?
No.
Oh, that's sad. That's sad.
I keep trying, but he doesn't bite.
He doesn't bite.
Can only reach out the hand of friendship so many times and be rejected.
Yeah, it gets a bit depressing after a while, doesn't it? So, have you invited him to any of your birthday parties up there in the hills of Sweden?
Not yet. Maybe I should. Maybe that's what he's waiting for.
I think so. I expect so. Yeah. So I don't think they've started yet. So we're getting some guesses coming in. It does seem like a lot of people, and I've no idea how anyone can guess who these players are. A lot of people are saying, well, Charlie the Chess Cat says Fearface looks like Jan because he sits like that. So that's interesting. Fearface. Okay. And okay. But anyway, the games are off here. So we have started, and I'll go through the opening moves very quickly with Fearface playing, well, the sort of Queen's Gambit. And now we have this Bishop B4 popular system. And we have Bishop F4, which is the trendy, one of the more aggressive ways to play nowadays. Knight E4 and Rook C1, Knight C6, Knight D2, G5, Bishop E3. And I think this is a very trendy line, which actually this position occurred in the game Magnus Carlsen versus Anish Giri. Was it Anish Giri? Magnus had this against someone, and Magnus lost with white in the Champions Tour with some Rook G1 move. I think it was Magnus.
I think that was that game. The Anish, was it the Champions Chess Tour or was it the Magnus Tour last year?
It was a tour somewhere. Yeah. It could have been.
I think it was the one where Anish won the match against him. It was like a 4-game match.
Right. Okay. Oh wow.
Maybe it was the Magnus Invitational. Because Anish won that one.
Right. Okay. Very good. And this also occurred, I remember, the last Champions Tour, Mamajarov against Rajabov. So it does seem to be like one of the popular lines here. By the way, massive thank you for Subov or Sabov, who's just gifted a loads of subs on this Halloween to the people in the chat and on my Twitch channel. So thank you very much. Most appreciated.
Thank you, Sabov. Sabov is a good friend of mine. He's a really nice guy. Thank you very much.
Very kind of him. Yeah, thank you. Good stuff. How's your streaming going nowadays, Mr. Dodgy? I suppose we should talk about the chess, but it kind of looks. I mean, what is this position? I mean, I'm just trying to gauge it, and it does seem like White has quite a nice formation. The Rook good here, and both kings though look a little bit dodgy. I mean, the Black King really wouldn't want to castle kingside because it's too exposed, but then if the Black King castles queenside now, isn't it pretty dangerous over there with these pawns coming up the board? And this is a nice move, just coming around, opening up the Rook. So it certainly seems, unless
it looks pretty scary. Like the White King is stuck as well, but looks perfectly safe, I guess. You just kind of develop everything around it.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? The White King just sits there, and it's got its pawn protection guarding it as much as it can, right? So now this move, if that works, it works. But can't I just go Rook takes C6? What's happening if I just go, Rook H6? Oh. Okay. With the idea of taking on E6 and then taking the bishop.
Yeah, that looks...
Is that just crushing? Oh, now he's taken on C6, so I don't understand anything. And now he's taken here. And now he's going to take... He's literally just taken everything here.
Bishop H3 basically. As well.
Bishop H3 as well, yeah. Oh, dear. Well, this is a very strong game from White here. Fearface already has won that one. So, okay. Well, very, very powerful game there. And so who do we think the players are from that? I mean, that seemed to me like, I'm guessing that could be like someone like Anish, because he played quite a trendy opening there. His theory was quite sharp, and he just won quite easily. And Black's openings, well, they didn't really hold up there, did they? So
yeah, could be Anish. It could be definitely Jan using Magnus's World Championship preparation as well.
Is Jan a second for Magnus Carlsen, do we think?
I assume so.
You assume so, okay.
Wait, was this B3?
This was knight to F3. So I'll go for the move. So okay, so Devil Monster now needs to win. with white, and he's played this like E3 system, and he's now gone B3. So it's gone into sort of one of Adiban's recommended variations. Black's playing a very solid line against it, but white now taking some control of the center, and things starting to look a little bit more normal now with both sides developing here. Knight A3 just on the board there. White has to get at least a draw in this game to keep it going. I don't know who the players are here. I'm really finding this very hard to guess the players. Not easy at all.
Yeah, this is tricky. But then, yeah, I mean, I know who it is, so I can't really pretend otherwise. I'm surprised. Like, I would count this as a 1v3 game.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised.
But Adiban's not playing, right?
Maybe he was a late entry.
So Charlie Chesscat saying Fearface is Jan or someone pretending to sit like Jan. And I like the idea that in preparation for this tournament, someone may have looked at Jan's posturing and learned how to sit like Jan. So I quite like the idea of that anyway. So
yeah, like once we kind of get this all, we elevate this to the next level and we turn this into the masked tour for next season, then I think we'll see a lot of mind games from like people pretending to be other people. We'll see like people buying all the picture that Anish has behind him and like building exactly the same background. So like someone will build like Peter Svidler's bookshelves to try and pretend to be him.
I love that idea. I love that. Just really going deep into the psychology of it. Yeah. So, I mean, I love the idea. I wish you could do this more in like proper tournaments where you get rid of all the preparational side of it, because if you're playing in international tournaments nowadays, like they are over in the big event at the moment over in Riga, most of the morning you spend preparing for your opponent. So if everyone had to wear a mask, a scary mask, or they didn't know who they're playing, it could be quite interesting because you can't prepare for your opponents then. So I like that idea. No preparation allowed. Now, Devil Monster could be interesting.
For sure. I think it would be really interesting to try it as like a more serious thing, because like the only problem is, like, I think it would help people who don't want to play Magnus, that are kind of, Magnus has like a psychological advantage over them. But the problem is he knows that he's never played Magnus. So that's where it kind of falls down a bit.
And just looking at the board there, it does seem like if we just go back around here, Rook C2 allowed this knight to come to this A5 square, which was very annoying for white because there's no good way for him to defend these pawns. And black has gone in, grabbed that pawn. And that is a pawn for black. I suppose white's got some attacking chances of the queen coming over and this rook on the e file, but I would have thought black's, I don't know. Okay, that knight now coming into this square as well. Scary stuff. And the queen coming over here. Maybe this is good for white. I don't know. Interesting. Well, it's funny because we do have the evaluation bar, and the evaluation bar still likes black, and maybe E5 is the reason why. So, yeah.
There's the E5, E4.
E5, E4, yeah. It's probably just good, right? Okay. So queen H4, E4. And that is going to...
Although this gets quite fun, I think.
It does, yeah, because you've got knight G5 coming in, right?
Yeah, and there's stuff like rook takes E4.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess queen comes and defends that one, but he's gone H5. Wow. That looks quite risky to me. The format, I see someone asking, is it's 3 games of 3+2. If it's 1.5 all after the 3 games, then
H5 must be a mouse slip.
It looks odd, doesn't it? It looks really odd.
You must want H6.
Yeah. I mean, why would you put your pawn on a square that's rather loose, then put it on a square where you're potentially attacking a knight, right? So, yeah. No, but the question is, I mean, you got knight f5 and knight g. No, maybe knight f5 coming still. So it's probably a critical point here. But 26 seconds left for Devil Monster, and Devil Monster can't lose this game because he gets knocked out. So
yeah, he's low on time.
He's very low on time. 14 seconds. Fear face. Showing no fear.
Maybe he's trying to give a take back. He doesn't know how.
Can you give take backs?
I don't think so.
No. Okay. Do we have more moves? We must have more moves, but I can't see why.
Doesn't look like there's more moves.
We do. Why isn't it? Wasn't okay. Okay, so we do. For some reason, it wasn't updating. We have a load more moves there. Oh no. Okay. Well, it did actually go Queen G6, so there was some problem there. Knight D6 came. Pawn takes D3. So there must have been a little glitch in the system. And now that D pawn looking incredibly strong, and this position must be winning for Fear Face. Must be winning because of the D pawn is just so good. So Fear Face bouncing back, I think, here. King G2 played, and Black's exchange up with a very, very big pawn. Maybe even just Rook C1 at the right moment is an idea, but you have to watch out for this little check, don't you, at some point? I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, although you can just take at the moment. You cover
He's
queen.
gone
You
here.
cover the D8 square.
Yeah. So knight F7, rook takes F7 has what's okay, Hammy. Let's go for that again. So knight here, rook takes, and now queen takes D2. That's a lovely way to try and get the queen away from the back rank.
Yeah.
So,
and then both rooks are on pre as well.
both rooks are on pre. Interesting tactic. Is there a way that Black can hold this? Nice idea, though. Very nice idea. So, okay, so we've gone into an ending where it's two rooks versus the queen, and these rooks looking good because the black king is very safe, and the biggest problem is this D pawn. So maybe we just get behind and start pushing. So black should certainly still be winning this position. Just has to be a little bit careful because a queen is a queen after all. So
yeah, it looks like the rook eventually comes around. Rook E7, rook E2.
Yeah. And then the pawn will come again, yeah. So white's last move is trying to open up against the black king. The rook's going the other way. And maybe white's only chance is to try something with G5 and try to get some perpetual, but he's swung the queen all the way over there. Is that going to be working? Like B6 or something. He's played B6 and D2 next. Should be. D2 should be winning. He's played it, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
That should be it. Okay. Well, that's one game all then. So he's fought back very well. And any more guesses who the players are?
No, no, it's 2-0.
Oh, it's 2-0.
Yep.
Ah, of course. Oh, yes, it is. Yep. Thank you. So Fear Face is through, right? Fear Face is through. 2-0. That looked pretty smooth from Fear Face there. Looked pretty smooth.
I think it was Devil Monster's choice of opening in the second game. That was very questionable. I think he's going to need to justify that.
This B3 idea.
It's very surprising.
Do you think B3 is a bad move? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Dodgy?
I think it's a good move, but I think the person who played it probably wouldn't agree.
Okay. Well, we're going to get on the two players now where we're going to reveal Devil Monster, which will be very interesting, I think, and see who it is. So last time, have a guess. A couple of people have guessed Shrinath because they said his chair gave it away. That's very observant if they spotted that one. Very observant. The chair gave it away, which I didn't want to say, but could that be possibly true? We will shortly see. We'll we just arrange that. The next match is going to be Angry Clown, and we all love an angry clown, versus Beetle 666. It looks like the players are going to be joining us. Everyone's had a really quite a nice Halloweeny background, Mr. Dodgy, except for Fearface. Or is that some Halloweeny background that Fearface has got that I'm not aware of?
It looks just like Lego to me.
Yeah, maybe he's really scared of Lego or something.
Yeah, it's quite scary. I mean, if you step on it, it's
Bloody painful, isn't it? Yeah.
scary stuff.
So if we know which of these players has a phobia of Lego, that could be Fearface. Is that what we're thinking? The Lego phobia could be there.
Yep.
So, but I am liking Devil Monster's background there. That's a nice Halloweeny background. Very, very good Halloweeny background. So the two players. So we're going to do a little chat now and the unreveal of who Devil Monster is. Devil Monster. Well, he played this B3 move. Maybe Mr. Dodgy wants to ask him about this B3 move, seeing how it goes. So can you hear us, Devil Monster?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hi.
Okay, so we've heard the voice there. Anyone else guess who it is? And Devil Monster, do you want to let us see who you really are? It'd be quite funny if he took the mask off and it was actually the devil underneath. That'd be kind of amusing. Oh, hello there, sir. Hello. How are you doing?
Oh,
Hi, I'm good, Simon. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, good. And great costume, by the way, you had.
Thank you. I had to go do something good today. Yeah, clearly it was not chess.
The chess was a bit tough, right?
The chess was incredibly tough. I think I was playing someone pretty strong, pretty fast, and I think I know who I was playing.
Well, who do you think you were playing? This could be interesting. Could it have been Niche, or do you think you got Duda or someone else? Who do you think?
It was Duda, I think.
You think you're playing Duda? Okay,
Yeah.
Right. So we will find out later on. So
we need to know what happened with the opening in the second game. Like what were these moves?
I think B3 is not a bad move on the third move. It's not the first move, you know. It's not always a bad move.
So B3 made quite famous, this little move, isn't it, recently by Adiban's course, you know. And
he played it today as well in the Grand Swiss.
He played it today. Oh, okay. How did he get on today? Do we know, Adiban? Or
he's not going to lose today.
Okay,
I'm sure about that.
Okay. And Srinaf, have you've got some chessboard courses? Do you want to just let people know very quickly about
Yes, the 1d4 lifetime repertoire based on Catalan. It's popularly known as the Catalan course, but it's a full 1d4 course.
Okay. Based on the Catalan, yeah. And you didn't play that. You didn't play that today.
Well, I had only one chance with White today, and I wanted to go for something more suited to Blitz. And I think I got a pretty good position out of the opening, so it went well.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed to be okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just this knight A5 was a bit annoying, wasn't it? At some point, it seemed well.
Yeah, knight A5. I think I should have taken CD5. Yeah, I took way too much time, and to be honest, I was a bit intimidated by my opponent who was playing very fast, and who was also incredibly strong from what I could guess.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. So we have the guess that Fearface is Duda. So what do people think about in the chat? And well, Duda is incredibly strong player, as we know, as is everyone.
Yes, it was a completely different class of opponent from what I'm normally used to, and I just didn't have time to adapt to the speed.
Okay, I'd find it very funny if it was now Lawrence Trent or someone, but I don't think Lawrence is playing this tournament. So not I'm saying Lawrence is a bad player, just joking. But anyway. Well, look, how are you going to enjoy the rest of Halloween? Are you doing anything for Halloween, or are you going to take it easy tonight?
No, I'm just going to take it easy tonight.
Take it easy. Okay. Any more questions, Mr. Dodgy?
You keep asking me this. I don't have questions. I don't prepare questions. Like
Okay. Well, I guess that is a no. Okay. Well, great. Well, look, thanks for enough, and have a great rest of the day. And
Thank you.
unlucky there.
You too.
It seemed
Thanks,
like you both
Reneth.
played very well. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
great.
Bye.
Okay, so we're now going to get ready for the next match, which is the Angry Clown. And we're going to just see how angry the Angry Clown is. And he's playing against Betal 666. I'm guessing I know what the Angry Clown's going to look like. He's going to look like an angry clown, right? I'm assuming.
I think so. I would hope so.
I'd hope so. But what is Betal 666? What is that? Is that a demon?
It's
What?
I think it's like a zombie,
A zombie. Okay.
but the mask to me looked like a vampire. I've
looked
seen
like-
the mask.
You've seen
So,
the mask. Okay.
Zombie, vampire, I don't know.
Do you think that a clown, an angry clown, would beat a zombie in a fight? Who do you think would come out tops in a general fight? An angry clown or a zombie? Who would win that fight?
I
If it
guess
had
like if
to the
it's
death.
it the clown, it's gonna be like a normal zombie.
Yeah.
Like zombies in every zombie film, they go through like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So like one zombie, it's not a big deal. I think I could take a zombie.
You think you could take a zombie down?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about, it depends if it's a slow zombie, like in some films, or one of those really quick ones in like 28 days later or whatever it is. Do you know the ones I mean? The ones that literally run and they're like rabid animals. Do you reckon you could take one of them down? Or just a slow one?
I think if you've got like a big stick, I think that's all you really need.
So only a big stick against a very fast rabid zombie, you'd be very confident in that fight.
I like my chances. I'm not saying 100%. Depends on how big of a zombie.
Oh wow! Look at these! Look at these masks. This is brilliant. We can now
Oh.
we can now see the players, and Angry Clown is in the room, and
Angry Clown looks like he's on like a throne or something.
He
looks-
does,
like
doesn't
the way
he?
he's sitting up straight. That could be Jan.
it could be Jan. But look at Beetal's got a bit of the horn there as well, isn't he? I love that. I love the horn that Beetal is showing there. That's some really good bit of horn there as well. So do we have any guesses? Now we want to hear your guesses and who you think the players are, and let's just go through the players left in the competition as well, Mr. Dodgy, because I think some of the viewers won't maybe know who they are. So I know that to be unrevealed yet, we have Anish, Duda, Jan, Pranav, and who else am I missing there?
Soham.
Soham. Right.
I don't remember what his second name is.
So we got
Soham Kamotra.
right. So does anyone want to guess at one of these players as one of them? Place your bets. Who are these guys? So I'm just going to see what people are thinking. Duda versus Giri, says Arjan Banana. It could be because it's a random draw. Angry Blair Chess. Hello, Blair is saying Angry Clown has the comportment of Duda. Okay. Interesting. Portmeister is saying Angry Clown looks like a lead singer from a band. It could be like what was it, Lordi? Was it Lordi who won the Eurovision one year? They were quite good, weren't they?
Yeah, that could be.
Could be Lordi.
These two look like they look more serious, I think. They both.
How can you
I don't
tell?
think Angry Clown has moved. Is he there?
Well, he is. He doesn't look like as much of a clown as I thought he'd be. I have to say, he looks more like a zombie to me.
No, he is moving. He looks.
He is moving. Yeah, he is.
He looks
He looks
very
very
serious.
chilled, very serious, very chill. But so you're right. So is Beetle is quite serious there as well. It's a good mask as well. I have to say, I'm liking that mask there. Yeah, liking that mask. Ernst is saying Giri isn't either of them because they are silent.
Maybe it's Angry Clown and he's like Anish is just muted, so we can't hear him.
Yeah, they're both muted.
We can't see his mouth, so he could be talking the whole time.
Yeah, he could actually just not be stopped talking, but we've had to mute him. Okay, well, we're off with the first game. And remember, it's 3 games of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds of move. And we have a Nimzo. And this variation with knight e2 is, well, all I know is that Ivan Sokolov gave it as one of his main recommendations in some middle game books on Ivan, one of the leading FIDE official trainers out there. And the idea is you gain the 2 bishops, as white has, but you haven't done any damage to your pawn structure, as you sometimes do in the Nimzo. So queen e7 now played, and black, on the other hand, has a reasonably solid position, I would say. A bit surprised by this queen e7, because maybe now could you take on c5 and try to get a bishop on this diagonal? You've got the extra dark square bishop. Okay, he's pushed on with d5, another very logical move, using the space advantage in the middle of the board here. d6 played. Maybe black can try to close it down, but later on, f4 is a very normal idea against that. So, for example, if black ever tries to close down this bishop, so instead black, okay, he's taken on d5. The more open the position becomes, you would like to think the better these bishops become, but just imagine that bishop on that diagonal. That's what I'd be scared of if I was black here. Knight e4 played. And still early days here, I guess.
Yeah, so does white, does he want to play like b3 or b4 and try and get the bishop onto that diagonal? Or does he develop it the other way?
I thought at some point you can do that. I mean, he's okay. Castle.
I mean, not now,
yeah.
obviously, because there's
Sure.
a knight.
yeah. No, I see what you mean. Like take the knight off and maybe then try to do something like that. I mean, this would be like I'd like to get the bishop there if I could. That'd make a lot of sense, right? So
yeah.
So we're just working out. Okay, how's he going to do that? On the other hand, black's trying to reinforce this knight, maybe, like coming around the angles. So white's thinking about the best way of doing this. He could also kick that knight away and try to take with a pawn and put the pawn on c4. Spending quite a lot of time, Angry Clown, at the moment. Okay, he's taken the knight off f3. Also logical, just to go e4, yeah?
Yep, so does he go? So he goes e4 and then bishop f4, or is f4 the plan?
Yeah, I'm wondering if you've put the bishop to attack d6, or as you say, Mr. Dodgy, maybe bring the bishop to c3, which is a lovely diagonal as well. I would have thought in these structures where you have this kind of formation against this, it's very Benoni-like, where, well, white should always be better, really, because this pawn is a big weakness, but also white can eventually try to play e5. Black, on the other hand, tries to play like b5 and c4 because that's where he's got his pawn majority, but white quite easily stopping that move. And this looks like kind of a class move, but now b5 is getting nearer. Can you, if black gets b5 in, maybe black is okay here. Maybe.
Yeah, you can't really stop it now. So I guess
just rook e3. Wow. So is he just going to try to play e5? Is that the idea? Just try to bust him in the middle? Could be.
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks quite single-minded about it.
He does, doesn't he? So this strikes me as a player who doesn't like messing around with the white pieces. You know, it seems. I mean, this maneuver, rook a3 to e3, that seems like quite a sophisticated maneuver. So it could be a sophisticated player.
Yeah.
Well, so Zoraf Kaya is saying, who are these players? Now, if you just tuned into the stream, one of the main points of the stream is it's Halloween Unreveal. So the loser, it's 3 games, maybe 3 games, but it's
3 games of 3+2, and it's a knockout competition. So if someone gets the 2 points, they knock the other person out, and the loser takes his mask off. So you will find out who the players are. Blair Chess is saying he hopes that the guy's just tuned in. Yeah, because if he's been listening to the last hour and is only now asking who are the players, it would be a little bit worrying, right? So
Yeah,
just a tap.
maybe he just recognized the previous players.
Yes, that's true. Maybe. I don't buy it, but maybe. So I would have thought now, if I was white, just get the bishop on this lovely diagonal and then try to play f4 and e5. And black's position may well crumble if you can get this simple planning. And I really like what he's done with the rooks here. You can even just drop your bishop back and everything is ready then. So that's what I'm assuming white is going to go for.
This looks very tough. Like, this looks like a kind of terrible Benoni for black. Because, like, usually you would have at least the bishop on g7.
Yeah,
kind of
I agree.
Might do something, but
this. I mean, the Benoni is pretty bad already. So when you say terrible Benoni, it's got to be. Really
I just
bad.
mean the Benoni.
But I know what you're saying. It's pretty bad. Ringed is saying, can you sacrifice the rook? You know, let me take it and put the knight on c5. Well, I was thinking that as well, Ringed, but I don't think it would be enough compensation. I mean, this move looks a bit more logical, trying to grab that pawn. And maybe, you know, if there's a knight d5 or rook d5 tactic at some point. I mean, let's say, I don't know, I don't really believe it. a5, where you're going to go with the knight even. Okay, we're going to find out. He's gone into a4. Black's pieces are looking to me that they're hanging on the thread here. Is this knight just going to be lost at some point? White now changing his plan. White is figuring your knight is on the edge of the board, sidetracked. If I get rid of the piece defending it, how are you going to save it? White now grabbing the pawn on a6. And he was threatening bishop b7 and a6. So he's put his rook here, but now White's simply taking that off. And this idea of just queening the a pawn, I don't think is going to be stoppable. Okay, he's moved the bishop back. Also very good. This idea on the cards. Black trying to get a check, but it should be easy enough to stop. And he's even ignored that. Now, c4, okay, still fighting, keeping an eye on that pawn. He didn't have time to take the bishop because the a pawn would have queened with check. But now queen c1, and the bishop wants to come here, which I think it will now be doing, surely. And that pawn must be winning the game here, Mr. Dodgy. That's a big a pawn.
Yeah, this looks like it. You can't stop it.
Yeah.
Queen b8 comes eventually.
Black blocking the b file for now.
Yeah, even just like queen c2, queen b3. Just like step around the knight.
Just step around it. I like it. Dance around the knight, yeah? Oh, he is. Cool. Mr. Dodgy, is it you? Are you the angry clown?
Oh, no, I was thinking he was quite a good player, but I'm not so sure.
If he's finding your moves, it's getting a little bit worrying.
Yeah. Yeah, if my plan is...
Yes. Oh, look, he's got it. The angry clown has moved as well in the camera. So we still don't know who the angry clown is, but he's playing good chess. And Beetle is also playing well here. Queen comes into b6. Black's doing a good job of holding on here, though, right? I mean...
Yeah, this looks like very stubborn defense.
Yeah, stubborn defense. Very good.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Maybe we spoke too soon.
Yeah. And, okay, Black has lost there. So, very strong play from White in that game. And that means Beetle has to try and come back in the next one. Or a draw will also be okay. So, hopefully I can find the game in time when they start. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. So Beetle now has the advantage of the white pieces, and he's gone for a Reti kind of opening. And Angry Clown playing one of the main ideas where you often just put the pawn on d4 to block that bishop out. Was that last game over? Says Ringed. Knight c4 could have played on. I was wondering that, but I think it was very, very bad. Probably losing in the wrong one. Okay, now one prediction is this is Duda versus Giri, two of the top players. Could it happen? The top two seeds are playing in round one.
Yeah, it could be like, but then I don't think Giri would have been black in that one. I don't think he would play that kind of position.
That kind of dangerous position, right?
Well,
yeah,
a bad position.
A bad position. Okay. Does Anish ever get bad positions, I wonder?
Yeah, actually, he's quite underrated as a swindler. He does get a lot of bad positions. And
does he?
Like,
yeah, I suppose so.
In the candidates where he drew all 14 games, like half of those games where he was just completely busted. He just swindled them. Like, I don't think he gets enough credit as a swindler. He saves a lot of terrible positions.
I mean, he's a good player all round, isn't he? All of these guys are, but Anish is a class act. Knight e5 played, and just getting back to the position. Obviously, this is releasing the bishop on there, and I was wondering about this. He's sacked the queen. What a lunatic. Black. Can we just hang on a minute? Hang on a minute. Okay, so the queen could have dropped back here defending the knight, but instead he's gone queen. Who does he think he is? Rash mate. He's gone for this queen sack. Queen takes g2, and he's got two pieces for the queen, and he's now going to try to go c4. The computer thinks white's completely winning.
Do you think he's inspired by this game from the Grand Swiss, this Predka against someone? I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, one of the King's Indian Defence, yeah? So
yeah.
Quite possibly, yeah. And it was the queen sack. I was thinking of the famous one was that Rashid Nesmandinov did this kind of queen sack, didn't he? Where he, one of the most famous queen sacks, he gave his queen up on f6. But that was a brilliant game, by the way, Mr. Dodgy, that you just mentioned there. It was a lovely game in the Grand Tour at the moment where white sacked his queen. I expect that Ajamat has got a video up on it, so we can go and check that out.
Yeah, Predka against Yakuboyev, it was, from round 2.
So, very likely. I mean, do we really believe this? I mean, do we really believe what Angry Clown has done here? It's only a knight and a bishop for the queen. I'm not sure. I mean, I love sacking my queen, Mr. Dodgy. If I can sack my queen, I will generally sack my queen. But I'm even thinking this is a little bit iffy. I don't really see. I mean, I'm not a big believer in this, to be honest.
It just, like, it's tricky to play for white, I guess. Like, you only really have the bishop and the queen.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you do have a queen.
Yeah, that's the other thing, though. Yeah, I only have the bishop and the queen, but I do have the queen, which I quite like. I mean, I like my queen. I mean, it's black has this compensation with a knight here, but if we're trying to think about who the players are, a lot of people are guessing that the Angry Clown is Duda, but would Duda have done such a... I'm going to have to say it was a very risky queen sacrifice, because Duda is one of the elite players in the world who won the World Cup by beating Magnus Carlsen. Would Duda have sacked his queen like that? Or would it be someone a little bit more mental? I mean, I'm just thinking who is mental in the tournament.
It could, I mean...
I don't know, it could be Duda, couldn't it? To be honest, Duda is a bit mental with his aggressive play. I don't mean that in a bad way. He loves attacking, so could be.
Yeah, but usually like 2700, 2750 players, they don't like take crazy risks. That's why they get to 2750. They don't just give up their queen because it looks fun.
I know.
Like some people would do. I would definitely.
I mean that's why we're struggling amateurs, really, isn't it? So I mean, it's It's true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's very interesting. Okay, so B4 now played, and Black has kind of proven that with a knight here, he's got compensation. Don't you know that is something. Now White has lashed out a little bit because he's worried about Black playing B4. And I suppose the more you look at White's position, the harder it was to find actually a simple plan. So maybe it was a genius sacrifice that the computer or me just doesn't understand. It could have been a piece of
I mean, because like White doesn't have any control over the light squares, then the knight is just there for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
like there's never any way to kick that knight out. So maybe that is enough.
it may be in Blitz. B-Tail is also down to under a minute left here. So it's Rook B1 now played, covering that B4 square. I'm not really sure what White's doing. I have to say, even though White's the queen up, what is White's plan here? I don't know. It is true, but interesting sacrifice. Okay, so we have a capture, and is he going to go A4 and get a past pawn now? Is that an idea? Or would he just take the pawn? Just take the pawn and ask the bishop what's it going to do? Maybe that's an idea.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you take, the queen might be able to come in. Okay, so he's gone A4, and he's just saying, well, I've now got a nice past pawn. Yeah.
Is this, like, let's say that Black does nothing. Is this a fortress? Even with all these pieces on the board, like, how can White break through? Because, like, this isn't really a threat.
No. What he's only gone back because, I mean, I think he should be trying to play F4, but that now comes with a lot of risk, right? With Black's piece is quite well positioned. So, and now this pawn, if the pawn gets to A2, Black's making progress. Okay. No, you're right. It might. Okay, he's gone F4. I thought this is the only way White could try to do something. Push this F pawn up the board, try to open up the middle of the game. Now, the two people who've been unmasked so far is Gwaine Jones of England and also Srinath of India. So they're the two players who've been unmasked. There probably is a link somewhere to the players in the competition, but I've no idea where it is, so I can't post it. Just that makes it easier. Look at the time, Mr. Dodgy. Anything possible here, right?
Yeah, this looks more and more difficult for White to hold on.
5 seconds versus 9.
But then if White is like Anish or Dura, then they don't. Oof. Okay, they do need the time.
Someone seems to have lost a queen there. Black suddenly a bishop up. What happened?
Yeah, the queen was trapped.
Wow. Black is going to win this, I think. Black's going to go through. Angry clown. What a lunatic. Let's just see what happened there. So it seemed like this queen sacrifice was either absolute piece of genius, maybe just a very interesting practical move. And now White, it seems, as Mr. Dodgy was saying, the position was getting a little bit worse and worse. This was a very nasty idea. Because when the white queen came into a seemingly aggressive square, bishop e6 just traps the queen. And it must be said that this queen takes g2 check. What a move that was. Giving up the queen for 2 pieces and getting the knight to the square. Maybe not enough compensation, but practically a pretty amazing concept. And Black actually looked like he was okay drawing the rest of the game just by holding the knight on that square and using his pawn. So very interesting play there. Very interesting play. And I think we are now, as always, going to have another reveal of who B-Tal 666 is. So we're just going to get the players now ready for the reveal. And if you are in the chat, we'd love to hear your thoughts on who you think the players were there. Someone said that, I mean, if Jabava wasn't playing elsewhere, I would probably go, that must be Jabava playing, like that with the white pieces. But, because sacking the queen without a care in the world. I mean, that was a real Halloween treat for us so far. But we do now have the players. I do love the backgrounds as well. Brilliant backgrounds. And I hope we can hear them. BTEL666, can you hear us? Hello there.
Yes, hello.
Hi there.
Hello.
How are you doing? That are some tough games there. Can you unreveal your mask? Can we see who you are, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hi there. So, do you want to introduce yourself, please, to the viewers?
Yeah, I'm Soham Kamotra from India. Um,
And Soham, how old are you?
I'm 17 right now.
17. And you qualified for this event, right? In a good
Yes.
competition. And
Yeah.
there were a couple of tough games you had there. Have you any idea who you might have been playing there? If you had to guess who you're playing, who do you think Angry Clown could be?
I saw the Polish flag of my opponent, so I guess it can be Duda, but I'm not sure.
Maybe that was a trick. Maybe the Polish flag
Yeah,
was there to trick you.
that definitely seemed like a trick. No.
Okay. So your guess is Duda, right?
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay. And what did you think of that queen sacrifice in that second game? Did you it was quite a wild queen sacrifice, right?
Yeah, I have analyzed it a bit, but in a blitz, it's very tricky to play with white pieces. You're
Yes,
always cramped.
because the knight is very good and a very imaginative idea there.
Yeah.
Well, Soham, thank you very much for the unrevealed there, and unlucky in the match. It was a tough match, and we hope to see you a lot more in the future. So, did you enjoy wearing the mask? Do you think you're going to wear that to your next chess tournament?
No, it was slightly tough to play with the mask. I'll prefer to
Okay.
play without though.
Okay. So it's not
Yeah.
something you think you're going to wear on a permanent basis to chess tournaments?
No, definitely.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to check. Okay. All right. Thank you very much,
Okay.
Soham, and thank
Thanks,
you for
Soham.
joining in the tournament.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so another player revealed there, and I think now, Mr. Dodgy, do we have one more match before a little break? And how is
Well,
it?
we're gonna have a break now because the third qualifier didn't want to play, so he is forfeited in
Okay.
the last quarterfinal. So we'll have a short break, and then we'll have the first semi-final in about 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
25-minute break, right? Or we'll be back in about, what, 10, 15 or something?
Yeah, we'll be back in 15. We can, I don't know, talk about chess or something.
Yeah, or Halloween, or, or we'll think of something to do, won't we? I'm sure. So, yeah. And does that mean it's now the knockout stages? I'm getting really confused now. The next match, is that right? Is it the knockout stages already?
Yeah, the whole thing was the knockout stages. It was the quarterfinals, and then we have the semifinals next.
Semi-finals is next. I think that's what
So
I think that's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
We have Halloween Killer. Okay, Halloween Killer is the one we haven't seen yet, because there's one player we haven't seen who won by forfeit against Fearface, and Angry Clown against Ghostface.
Right. That means nothing to me, but
I can almost remember who one of them is. Angry Clown.
Angry Clown. Yeah, Angry Clown had quite a good. Yeah, I like Angry Clown's costume. Okay. Well, brilliant. So I think as Mr. Dodgy says, we'll take a little break, but we'll be back in, latest 10 minutes, and we can talk about Halloween in Sweden, Mr. Dodgy's horses, and the Northern Lights up there, and loads of other random stuff. So go and get yourself a quick drink, people.
Yeah, we'll be back in 10 minutes, and I think we're going to start the games in 10 minutes. I'm just being told. Okay.
Great.
Cool.
All right. Back soon.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're back, and we're back with the semi-finals. So we know some of the players that have been revealed already. We've had Gwen Jones being revealed. We've had Srinath, and the last person, Soham, young Indian player who qualified. And me and Dodgy are now going to take you through to the semi-finals and have a look at who's playing there. So who have we got left then, Mr. Dodgy, so far in the competition at the moment?
We've got Halloween Killer is the username, who we've not seen yet, and against Fearface, who was the winner of the second match, I think, and then Angry Clown against who was the winner of the third match against Ghostface, who was the winner of the first match, who beat Gawain. So,
Gotcha. Yeah.
pretty good players, I would say.
Yeah, some very strong players left, right? So it'd be interesting to see who they are. And like I say, it's the semi-finals, and then on to the finals. And it's the same format, 3-minute chess plus 2 seconds a move, and 3 games. If it's a draw after 3 games, 1.5 all, which we haven't had so far, there'd be an Armageddon game. So, and who is up next? It is, I believe, Halloween Killer versus Fearface, as you said. Okay, so let's see if I can find
So
it.
I'm curious. I haven't seen Halloween Killer's mask yet, so I'm very curious to see what he's got. Did you watch any of it from last year? Did you see some of the masks from last year?
I did. I
There's
did.
some very interesting masks.
I really liked the one. Was it of a baby? There was some really weird ones. It was good. It was good. Has the budget dropped this year or something, or is it like, you know?
Well, we've not trusted the players to buy their own this year as much. And that's
Okay.
where some of the more interesting choices came in last year.
Right.
Where you just, you tell them, just go buy yourself a mask, and
They come back with
things like Peter, but
just mind what Peter had, because that was the one which it was very weird in a weird way. What mask was Peter wearing? We're off the game, by the way. The game has started, so.
go to the games. Yeah, let's talk about chess. That's a good idea.
Okay, rather than Peter's mask, I wanted to talk about Peter's mask, but okay. Let's see the players. So Halloween Killer, who we haven't seen so far, he got a bye in the first round, and Halloween Killer is now playing against Fearface. And we're just going to bring up the board so we can see it.
So this
looks like a solid opening so far. And who did Fearface beat in the first round? So we've got to see the board.
Fearface beat Srinath.
Right. And Srinath thought that Fearface is a very strong player, right? So that's what he said.
Yeah.
One of the top players. So, okay. And can we see their masks? It'd be great because, as you say, Halloween Killer is one mask we haven't seen. In this position, this is the position that is quite trendy and modern, it seems. This is quite a popular opening.
Yeah, I was going to
Mr.
say,
Dodgy.
we've got an Italian opening, so this could be,
The
any
top
of
guys.
any Grandmaster.
Yes. And happy Halloween, by the way, to anyone in the chat as well. So I don't know if we can get the video of the players as well. It'd be nice to see what mask they're wearing. But the position so far, it's one of the trendy openings, and that's been played and is currently popular at the elite level. So I would be guessing these two players, knowing their theory, could it be Anish and Duda? Well, there
That's
is Halloween.
possible.
What is Halloween Killer wearing there? What's he trying to be? Halloween Killer. What's he dressed up as?
It looks like a highwayman, but maybe it looks like a Star Wars mask or something. I don't know.
It looks like a mix between a highwayman with a nappy on his face. I would say the nappy man could be the nappy killer. Is that right? Possibly the nappy highwayman. I quite like it. Okay, so anyone want to guess who Halloween Killer is? And Fearface, we've had a couple of guesses. Some people have guessed Yan. Other people have guessed Duda. Could it be Yan or could it be Duda? We don't know. And Halloween Killer, Well, we're not sure who Halloween Killer is. No one has had a guess at Halloween Killer yet. And the position still seems fairly even at the moment. Would you say, Mr. Dodgy?
Yeah, this looks like very heavy theory stuff.
It does, doesn't it? These guys must know their stuff. So who knows their theory? Well, you've got to think in, people like Dudra and Anish being the regular players at top level. The knight has come to e3 now, and the problem with Black's position is like these squares are a bit weak, but Black has quite active play with a lot of active pieces. So I would say this is very balanced at the moment, this position, very balanced. Okay, now we're being told this is, people are saying it's a niche, maybe. Halloween Killer is niche. It's fine gold. Well, I don't think so. As he's not in the competition.
Anish's thinking pose 100%, but they're both in the same pose.
They are both in the same pose, yeah. Pawn takes d4, and this seems like quite a high quality game as well. White sacrificing a pawn maybe here, but it is a pawn. So queen's come back to defend c7, and now white is going to try and move the bishop into f5 with possibly the queen coming over towards Black's king. So this is the other problem with when you throw your pawns up the board early, your king can become quite weak. So this could be an issue with the position. But still, it is a pawn up for Black, and Black is now aiming to swap some of the pieces off. Now, did you see this? I think you did, Mr. Dodgy. You did see this thing recently, this interview with Fabiano's ex-trainer, I guess.
Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, what's happened here? Oh.
Oops.
Is that an oops move?
Yeah.
That looks like an oops move to me. It could be an oops move. Because suddenly the queen's come in with check. And if the king goes back, the queen can come in this way.
So it's got to go to h6.
Oh, yeah. But then maybe I just take the knight. My bishop comes into f4. That king is really exposed there, isn't it? Really exposed. I don't think you can survive this. This must be mate. Okay, so this should... Is it going to be mate now? He's taking here. Where is the checkmate? Okay. Oh, there. It's going to... Yeah, okay. Pawn takes pawn. Rook takes is actually checkmate. Wow. That was vicious, that one, Mr. Dodgy. That was really vicious.
Yeah, wow.
Living heck. Yeah.
That was a very fast game.
Yeah, I mean, let's just have a look where it went wrong.
Yeah, it looked like it was going okay, and then knight takes d5.
Yeah. This seemed to be a quality move, getting the bishop into the game with the queen coming in. Very nice idea. And now it looked like Black had to play rook h8 and try to get the king to f8, which is a very hard defensive idea to try and play. But the king had to try and come this way. Okay, the next game started. So we know in this one, Fear Face with the white pieces can't lose the game. But the interview I was talking about was, it was Fabiano's second, who's just broken up with, was basically talking about talent in chess. And maybe saying there was many more players that are more talented than Fabiano. It was a really weird interview, I thought. Anyway, I don't know. Did you see that interview? Just because it's kind of
I saw the quote from it.
Yeah,
I didn't see the whole context, but like I usually think that when people say things like that, they mean it as a compliment. Like they mean that he works hard, like. To get to that level, it's not just a natural gift. It's not just something that just you're randomly born with. Like he's earned it. So yeah, I think it's usually meant as a compliment. I don't know. I didn't see the full context, so I'm not sure because it was in Russian. But that's usually my opinion.
Yeah,
because you're quite a talented player. But would you say to become a grandmaster, you relied on talent or hard work?
I don't know. It's hard to say talented. I mean,
You were reasonably good as a junior, though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was reasonably good as a junior. I think I was 2250, like I was 12 and stuff. But I think it's a combination. To become a grandmaster, you have to work hard. Yeah,
It's still
There's
quite
no-
a jump from like 2250 to
yeah. I mean,
grandmaster level.
I think, to be honest, anyone who's a grandmaster, they've had to put in a lot of work. You can't get to grandmaster on natural talent. And I think a lot of it is hard work. I mean, you just got to put the work in, and it's a lot easier to do the hard work when you're young because you don't have as many commitments in life, like job, girlfriend, family. You can actually just work on chess, and when you get to a certain age, it becomes a lot harder to become a grandmaster. And I think that's why some of the players who are talented enough might struggle to become grandmasters because they have other things in life. Like even Lawrence Trent, who's famously going for the grandmaster title, clearly talented enough, but he's got so many other things going on. It's not going to be easy to do unless he concentrates full time on the chess. Well, I've just seen the mask now. I mean, that is the worst disguise I've ever seen in my life. Can I just say that? That mask is literally the worst. It really seems like the budget has just dropped this year for some of the masks there. Halloween.
Yeah, we've not done great.
I mean, Fearface has got a pretty good mask there, but if you had to say guess the grandmaster, and you showed them a picture of Halloween Killer, do you think anyone would get that wrong? Okay, now what's happened there? The hat and eye mask has gone back on. Has he just grabbed one of his, kids' nappies because he didn't have a mask and he's put some filter on?
Well, I'm still not 100% sure who it is.
And you're not a very good liar either. Okay. Back to the game. Now, Halloween Killer won the first game. So if Black wins this game, whoever Halloween Killer is, it's going to be a big reveal.
People are saying he should lose for that mask. Is that like I haven't read the rules, which has been a problem with recent controversies that people don't read the rules. So maybe like having a good mask is part of the rules. I don't know.
I think it should be. I think you should be deducted points. I mean, Fearface clearly has a better mask than Halloween Killer. But I didn't write the rules, so I'm not in charge of this. But but okay. But do you think this is better for either side, or does this just look equal to position? I mean, I think white should be okay here, but is there now a chance that Black can try and win this pawn, take the bishop off, and go rook e6? So bishop takes bishop, knight takes rook e6, and then if you can win the pawn,
knight to d3.
Knight d3. Then if I take here, got rook c4 at the end, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Maybe.
Although then I was trying to get knight to b6 at the end, but the knight's too slow.
Well, we might find out. Yeah. Okay. So the problem
seems like the pawn just drops.
I mean, you could do this now, maybe, if you wanted to do it straight away. This is one way you could play it. You could go knight c4 to b6 and try to get a bit of compensation like that. That is potentially an idea. We were just discussing, if you go knight d3, rook takes c4, knight takes c5. The rook then comes to this square at the end, attacks the knight, attacks the c3 pawn. So that is going to be a little bit annoying. So white, it seems like white should be okay here, but I'm not sure how. Well, we're going to find out what happens. So rook e1. And let's remember, if Black wins this game, he is through to the final. And first prize in this is $2,000. Second prize, $1,000. So you'll be guaranteed $1,000 if you win this match. And
he won by forfeit in the first round, so it's not bad for a couple of Blitz games.
It's not bad at all. 2 Blitz games, and saving money on a mask is pretty good deal there. I mean, look, even his jumper has Champions Chess Tour on it. He didn't even get an appropriate jumper. I mean, some of us make effort with our skeleton jumpers, I mean, and what have you got there? Have you got the Champions?
No, I've got Mr Dodgy jumper.
You've got the Mr. Dodgy, the upside down knight one, yeah. So yeah, very nice.
Oh, he's resigned.
He's resigned. Oh wow. Okay. Was it that bad? Maybe it was. Maybe it's just very bad now because the bishop is coming through. Maybe it's just a really bad position here. Okay. I mean, it looked like white was doing okay. Let's just see where it went wrong. So around here, it must be okay for white, and we're going to find out who white is. Bishop f4 looks natural. Do you have to play that move, or is there something else you can play? Well, okay, let's have a look. Still probably all right. Equal material. And maybe here you just need to play something a little bit more solid, like rook to c1 in the position and just defend that pawn. But black's got to be absolutely okay here with the two bishops and equal material. Black's certainly not worse here. So we got the two players on the video now with their amazing disguises. And we're going to do the we're going to sort of see who Fearface is. Now, Fearface made it to the semi-final, but that was a tough match. And Fearface, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, and cool. It sounds like that mask is pretty hard to speak through.
No,
Yeah, I'm still not sure who it was.
You want to take the mask off, Fearface? Can we see who you are?
If you make me.
Yes, let's take it off. Oh, you can breathe.
Hello.
Hi guys.
So who do you think you were playing?
I have no idea. It's an amazing disguise, so it's impossible to tell. Felt like a very strong, talented, maybe Dutch player. I'd say Lucas van Voorhees, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Lucas or Jordan, one of these guys, yeah? I mean, what do you think of your opponent's disguise there? Are you impressed by it?
There's a thing, I'm not sure if that's on purpose, but you can see your opponent's old avatar and nationality in the new play zone thingy. I tried to change it, but it still shows my old. So my identity, I think, was kind of revealed there. And likewise for my opponent. But yeah, that's an amazing disguise and amazing chess he showed. So all the best to him.
It did seem like he was a very strong player, Jan. It has to be said. He played some very good chess there, didn't he? So in that one.
It was excellent stuff. In the second game, I think instead of queen c2, I should play queen b3, right? I thought instead of castle c or something else there. Queen b3, I guess I'm better. I just blunder queen c6, of course. But...
Right. Okay. So here, I don't know if we can able to bring up the board. In the game, queen c2 was played.
Yeah.
And it looked like black was certainly okay after winning the pawn back on c6, but Jan is.
If I go queen b3, I have some queen b6, and you can ask some questions at least.
Yeah. And you're still holding on to that pawn a bit as well, and your c pawn looks dangerous. Yeah, it seems like you're probably doing okay here,
yeah? That's the line. I tried to teach it to Luc van Wely in like 2008 when I was seconding him, but he thought it was too crappy even for him. So I finally put it to great use in this game.
So what, a line for white, do you mean? This variation that you played?
Yeah, I tried to make a case for it, but Luke wasn't very impressed. Tough match.
Is it easy to impress Luke?
I guess it depends on the field.
Well, I think
is it easier in politics?
You said that, not me.
Yeah, he's that's quite a career change. Jan, have you ever thought about that? A similar change to that at some point, going into politics at all?
My feeling is, without getting too much into Luke's career, that with my political leanings, which are different, it would be harder to make that career. I think it's easier if you start on the flank where he's at. But in general, it seems like a great backup plan.
Yeah. So you have to go in at the extreme end or something like that, maybe. Anyway,
maybe
we'll
find some new, somewhat extreme party. Maybe you can make a quicker career.
Yeah. Okay.
If you guys have any ideas, like let me know.
Well, maybe there's the angle in this with chess players starting up some party. Battered chess players and commentators at some point. We could put something together.
Shirov ran for EU Parliament as well, no? That's
Oh, did he? Oh, Shirov, who's doing incredibly well at the moment, we should say, in this big competition going on. He's in joint first place. So, playing some great chess. Great to see Shirov playing that crazy style that he's always played. So, yeah, good. And Jan, talking about Halloween, are you going to do anything special now for the rest of Halloween?
my doorbell keeps ringing. There's a lot of kids doing trick or treat, and I just keep ignoring them because I'm sitting in my basement. So I'll hand out some candy right now. My daughter's running around dressed as a witch. She just brought back a full bag of candy, so everyone's happy.
That sounds very nice.
I got very wasted last night, so I'm still in recovery. But I'll do some. How was it at a Halloween party?
Good stuff. A hair of the dog at some point, maybe? For you?
Was it?
Are you going to have a hair of the dog at some point tonight, do you think?
Hair of the dog? What is that?
Well, if you're very wasted, the hair of the dog is a drink to help you out there. Another
Not
drink.
familiar, but I'll look into it right now.
Okay. All right, Jan. Well, thank you very much.
Great pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the tournament.
Will do. Brilliant.
Mr. Dodgy, any questions?
I got nothing. Something about a chessable course? I don't know. Was the first game following your chessable course, or
Nah.
no? Just live.
No. I castled way too early. I don't think my Steam
I thought it looked vaguely similar, but so it would give you a chance, but no. Okay, I got nothing. I would like to say that I think we broke a record with this interview.
What was that?
It's the longest that one person has gone without talking.
Oh, right.
I think like we've broken new ground here, and I think we should just end it now before we
break that. But we don't know who that person is because of the brilliant disguise.
No, we've no idea who it is, but I think we've broken new ground. So
okay, it's well worth mentioning that. Yeah. Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Cheers. So we're now going to go on to the other semi-final, and we know that Halloween Killer is through, and I'm going to take my mask off because I'm also struggling to breathe at this moment in time. Blooming heck. Oh, blimey. That's a little bit hot. This is my mask now. We'll just keep it like this. And the next final is between who have we got, Mr. Dodgy, in the next one? Is it Angry Clown and Ghostface? Is that right? So,
yes, those names sound like real names.
They do. So let's see if we can find that. And they will be facing in the final Halloween Killer. So let's just see if the games are started. If not, they will be starting.
So we know.
Second.
We know the three players this match could be. So it's either Duda, Pranav, or Anish.
Who is left? Right.
Yeah,
so
for this match. So Anish could be in this match. We don't know. Or Duda, or.
Well, if Anish is in this match, who was in that last match?
Someone in an Anish costume.
That's what I'm thinking. It could, you know what? This could be a double, triple, quadruple bluff that we're playing on people, and it could come as a real shock that one of the players might be wearing an Anish mask. This is something which you've got to think about. That's how we roll here, you know. Okay, but the next game will be starting quite soon. So Duda's got to be. That could have been Duda, and we can see the players here: Angry Clown and Ghostface. So Angry Clown looks so relaxed. I mean, which of these players do you think would be the scariest to meet on a cold, dark night, Mr. Dodgy?
I think Angry Clown. I think his posture is so good. It's scary. It's excellent posture.
I do agree. Yeah, he's very relaxed, isn't he? Just leaning back there.
I think in the future he'll have no back pain whatsoever.
That's true. Very good posture. You must practice that posture a lot, I'd imagine. And this is for a place in the final. And
chance to fight for either $2,000 or $1,000. $2,000 to the winner, 1,000 to the loser. So it's some serious moolah they're playing for. And Angry Clown has played the same opening we saw him play in the previous match against the Nimzo Indian, where you get this little sort of space advantage over here and all quite common stuff. This Black's position very solid though as well. And very hard to tell who Ghostface is. Now, we could also be triple bluffing people and suddenly Magnus Carlsen will reveal his face. That is something else we could be planning here. What do you think of that, Mr. Dodgy?
I think we should have got Magnus to play. I don't know if I can't say if we did or not, but
no,
we definitely should have. Do you think it would help some players? Like if you were playing against someone, would you rather know it's Magnus or not know it's Magnus?
I would,
or even just like any 2,700 plus player. Would you rather know that's who you're going up against, or would you rather think, you know, it's someone who's equal to you?
You know what? I'd probably rather know, but it probably also make no difference as well, to be honest. So, but on the other hand, I'd probably rather not know because you might get a little bit more nervous. So there's a couple of things to say. Would you play better if you knew who your opponent is, if they're a very strong player, or if you just don't know, you play your normal game? What about yourself? Would you think you played better if you did know, or if you didn't know? You were playing someone 2,700.
I think I played pretty badly either way, but I think I play worse.
Yeah. Right. And I was thinking similar, actually, that I'd probably be the same result no matter what. But maybe I'd like to know, just because maybe you can even psych yourself up a little bit. By the way, Ghostface playing a very aggressive move here. And with the queen now coming in, he's really going for it. I love what he's trying to do here. Is there a sacrifice on one of these two squares now? This would be the natural continuation. Maybe, he's come back. Okay, hang on a minute. We've got to show this. So if you have to come back as Black here, then
I was going to say that I think then Black must be Duda, but
yeah,
Duda would play knight takes f2.
Knight takes f2 looks so natural with something like this one. Just bring the knight around here, and you know, go for this. This looks very dangerous of white. This idea. Okay, we'll keep up with the game because I'm very surprised the knight came back, Mr. Dodgy there. And as you say, Duda probably would have thrown that knight straight in, right? Unless there was a real problem with it. We have a couple moves, a4, and the knight has now come the other way. Might still be okay for Black, though. Black seems to be very active all of a sudden with his bishops, his queen, and his rook. And this is also a nice idea. Just put it in the center of the board. So maybe I quite like Black's position here. What do you reckon?
Yeah, this...
Still a position. Okay, the other knight come round. Seems... Bishop b4. I like that idea. Try to get rid of Black's active pieces, and Black's bishop on d6 is a very active piece, striking towards the knight. So, okay, Black.
Yeah, I was just thinking that the problem is with the queen on h4. If we don't do something with it, then it's kind of out of place. Like you really need to find something like knight takes f2 to justify having the queen there. Otherwise, you're just, you know, the queen's just sitting there.
That's right. Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, it could be now that bishop's been exchanged, and I have a couple more moves there. Oh, he actually took here, so that we got that a little bit wrong there, which looks much more sensible because you get this knight to the square, and this is the current position here. Now, white does have this little bit of pressure now against c7, but the knight's very good.
Does he want knight to c3 to trade off the knight? So
yeah, maybe knight c3 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, just get rid of that knight and then just try to take on c7. Yeah, yeah, I'd go along with that one. And he's probably stopping the knight coming to b4 with this last move. I guess that's why I put the rook there. And now Black is aiming to give a bit of control to the c3 square. I mean, it still seems fairly imbalanced, but he's even gone the other way. I didn't expect that, Mr. Dodgy, but this rook takes c7 is such a strong idea, right?
Yeah. Does he want? No, he has to recapture on f4. I was thinking knight takes f4, then rook takes c7, but like he could just take on h3 or.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, even here, though, I'd
Maybe
take
not.
back.
Yeah.
And there's still that little problem there, isn't there? So, well, he's gone queen d8. So white certainly now pressurizing, and the time control. Ghost face is down on time. So angry clown maybe missed an opportunity earlier on when he could have played knight takes f2. As soon as you start retreating in these positions, things can go wrong. And this maybe seems to be a black problem. White has grabbed the pawn, and it seems like a fairly safe pawn. This bishop is not great because there's a pawn always in the way of it. And the white knight has a nice square on f4 as well. So queen coming in, also a good move. Might be trying to win another pawn or helping come back and defend. So far, it looks like Angry Clown is in a good situation.
Yeah, this looks very tough to defend for black.
Very tough to defend here. 20 seconds as well for Ghostface. Not going to be easy. So I think you have to try something like this. You have to just go for it. But the problem is, even if you go g4, you're not really. You're only attacking with your queen, really. So none of this aggressive idea should work at all. And I think white is just fully in charge in this position.
But does white just ignore it? Does it just play like knight c3, then g4, and
this way? It's a little bit intriguing. 4 seconds left. Okay. And now, I mean, taking the queens off looks natural because you're a pawn up, but he has taken the queens off.
he did have knight to h5 if you wanted to be fancy.
That was quite a flash move, yeah, little tactic. So white's a pawn up in this ending. All the chances with white at the moment, but black's now managed to get his rook to a very good square, a very active rook. And even the black bishop is a pretty good piece in this structure. So I'm just wondering how white can break through here, because white doesn't have any passed pawns and his extra pawn is not looking too great.
No, so if the bishop comes to f3, like what can white do?
Nice idea. Yeah, maybe I put the knight here, but now rook g8. I mean, this is okay. Well, he's won another pawn though in the meantime. And has he got knight f4? Is that just a very strong move? Hang on a minute. Black took on h3, but this has walked into this fork here, and all of a sudden, black's two pieces are attacked.
Yes. Bishop d3.
Bishop d3 probably has to be played. Maybe then I just play rook d1 or rook b3. And I might be going 2 pawns up in the ending then. So bishop d, okay, he has resigned there. And the point being, bishop d3 may be one of the only tries. But after rook b3, I'm going to be winning 2 pawns in the ending. So we're straight into the next game. And we now know that Ghostface can't lose this game. So we have an open Sicilian, we have the Najdorf, we have one of the most exciting lines in the Najdorf, bishop g5, and this is often a lot of fun, these positions. This is the kind of game we want, Mr. Dodgy, isn't it? Some hacking chess. We want some craziness, right?
This is good fun. Yeah. You don't see bishop g5 too often anymore. Like they play like every other move. All these h3, a3, rook g1, queen d2.
They play everything nowadays, don't they, in the Najdorf? Every single move is played now.
There's about 17 moves or something on move 6.
It's crazy. I think every playable move has been played at top level now. So literally every move. We did see this, though, in the candidates, didn't we? Because Fabiano won a very nice game against MVL with this sharp bishop g5 variation.
Yeah, but that was a proper poison pawn, I think.
That was a proper poison pawn, that's right.
You'd let him take on b2.
This knight b3 is sort of a slower approach, right? Bringing this one back.
Yeah, I like knight b3 because the queen has to move anyway.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to like remember loads of stuff.
Yeah, which is always good, right? There's a lot to learn. Is the Najdorf in your... is it in your repertoire, Mr. Dodgy?
I try to avoid it. I used to play like Bishop G5 with white, and I had
Yeah.
good results, but there's just so much to remember.
Yeah. And now you're too busy with all the work you do for Chess 24. You have no time to look at your own chess. Is that
No
correct?
time at all. I'm
No
just
time.
so busy
Workhorse.
commentating. As a professional commentator now, it's
Yeah.
like this is my new job.
Okay. Well,
I
nice
was commentating on Peter's games in the Grand Swiss, but it didn't seem to motivate him enough to win.
Okay. Were you doing that today? You even commentating
No,
earlier?
I didn't
this?
commentate today because I thought I would be too tired.
Dead. Yeah.
But I skipped the first round and he had a draw, and then I did the next two and he still had draws. Then I skipped the fourth one, he had a draw, and
That's
I
quite
feel
a lot
like
of draws.
his play doesn't make any. I'm not affecting his play for some reason. I don't really understand, but he seems to. He's been struggling today. He's in a queen and pawn endgame, but maybe he can hold a draw.
Were you thinking the more you're going to commentate on Peter's games, the better he would play?
That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping
Right.
to put some kind of unnecessary pressure on him.
Right. Did you tell him? Did you say, Peter? And this is Peter Svidler we talked about. Did you like give him this message and say, I'm specially commentating your games. I expect you to play much better because of that. Did you let him know?
Yeah. I told him that,
Good.
and he said he didn't.
Good.
He didn't like the extra pressure, but he probably needed it.
Right.
That was his answer.
Okay. So if we start a campaign and we get everyone just to stream and commentate Peter Svidler's games in the whole world, like every single streamer there is, like even Hikaru, do you reckon that would help him?
I don't think it would help him, but I think it would be fun.
It'd
But also,
be
he's been a pawn down in an endgame for about 5 hours now, and it's still going.
Okay.
So yeah, this could be a very long day of
dear.
commentating for some people. Not me.
So it's not you. No, that people, especially on Halloween. And
We've got this interesting game to commentate on.
We have, yeah, and it is actually heating up a little bit now with both sides committing their king. And I like the time limit in this game rather than time limit in Peter's game. It's much quicker. It's 3 minutes plus 2 seconds move. And White, with his last move, he's got to try to find a way into the position. So I think he's going to try taking and going h5 to get the f5 square. But Black's plan of attack is much more natural. a4, the knight moves. Then generally you play b3 in these positions. Okay, White's knight gets out of the way of a4. a4 played. And normally b3 is a move to play. But here, well, White's getting some ideas. He's threatening to now take on g6. And I think White's done a clever job, Mr. Dodgy, to get any play, because it was looking to me that Black's initiative was very quick.
Yeah, it looked like what Black was going to break through quicker, but maybe he still does.
Maybe he does, but it's some chances. Okay, this is quite a slow move. I think he's getting out of the way of the rook. And I think what you need to do is take on g6 and play this h5 move. Because, okay, hence why Black has stopped White from moving this pawn up the board. Yeah. He's trying to keep his king as guarded as possible. Because if I can make your pawn here move at some point when there's not, my knight might better come in here, which would be monstrous for White. So not sure. Queen e2 might have been a little bit slow. And Black's always got one of these moves on the queen side to open it up. Okay, another piece comes over. Knight coming in probably to g5. Very interesting position. But I guess you have to move your bishop somewhere a little bit passive now. Like bishop d3.
Yeah, or can you defend it with b3?
Yeah, maybe b3. I mean, I was thinking, okay, he has gone b3. I was thinking this might give Black a chance to open up the a file, but probably more important to keep the bishop here. I think this could go. This game could really go any results possible here. And I think the more it's going on, the more I'm kind of liking White's chances. Because he's opening up.
Takes in knight g5 now.
Very nice idea. And it might look like Black's got this very dangerous attack on the queen side, but that's only if you somehow get your queen in the position, which you should not manage to do. And the problem now is if pawn takes pawn, the knight, look at this knight, comes in. So this could be, so far, I think every match has gone 2-0. Is that right?
Yeah, I was just checking now. Yeah, that is right.
Wow. Every match has gone, we haven't had we haven't had a third game. cool. They're trying to make our life difficult. So,
or easy. I think we're going to finish about an hour earlier than we thought. So-
good. More horror film watching for me. So, okay, but Ghostface, this could be the first game where we're going to get a third game, right? Because it looks to me like Ghostface you can't get a better chance than this at leveling the score. He didn't even take the rook there. He could have taken the rook, gone the exchange up, but I think he's guessing that his knight's much stronger.
Yeah, you want to keep the knight.
You want to keep the knight. And now there must be a breakthrough. Knight takes h5 or something like this, or rook takes f6, then knight h5. Come on, I love this idea. Take the knight, take on h5, try to get the queen in the game. These are the kind of positions I enjoy, Mr. Dodgy. You'd have a field day here as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think I would play rook takes f6 without thinking.
Ooh. Yeah, what about this? This is flash, but I can see the evaluation bar's just gone a little bit schizo there, and it's still going mad. What is happening? This has gone completely out of control. Boom, check. It's going up and down every single move. Rook takes f6. What is this? With this idea, checkmate.
Yeah, and then this will just end in some perpetual check.
Yes, some perpetual. If we get a chance, Mr. Dodgy, we can look at the tactics here. This is an amazing game. And it's still game on. Black's a pawn up, but maybe I prefer to be white here just because that king's a bit more exposed. And I think that's more important in a blitz game. And white now aiming to come in. Okay, but it's checkmate in one move. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And Ghostface there. Ghostface. Look at him. Looked like he was about to, get his blade out there. That was a crazy game. Can we just have a look at some of the moves?
That was wild.
I mean, around here, it's getting very exciting. Okay, they have started the third game, so we're not going to get a chance. But what a game. And it's now 1-1. So we should keep an eye on the deciding game. But that was the best game so far, I think, Mr. Dodgy.
Yeah,
they
for sure.
both
That
were
was
attacking.
a lot of fun. Yeah,
it was
that was a lot.
Really cool game. So this game to decide who's in the final. Crazy game that was. The opening that Black has played is supposed to be a little bit worse for Black, but very solid. So we're getting a much more solid game here. I'm actually tempted to go and look at that last game, but I probably shouldn't do. We should probably keep up with what's happening here. So
yeah, we'll probably have a bit of a break after this game finishes anyway, so we can
have a look.
We should definitely go back to that one.
We should do. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, this Bogo India, just to go back, Bishop b4 check is a really solid way for Black to play. So Black going for a very solid opening. And c5 is a bit of a rare move because you give up a central pawn and you double your pawns. But a couple of strong players have played like this. If we go to the current position, I mean, this kind of structure is very normal. But White maybe has something with this pressure against b6. There was an important game at the candidates, which was, I think it was Anish Giri playing against Grishchuk, and Anish needed to win with the white pieces in this opening to have a chance of qualifying. And he didn't get there in the end. On the other hand, Black's position here, Black's got some, when he gets rid of the pawn on d4, he's got some nice squares for his knight. So his pieces are playing quite well, and Black's quite solid. So it's still early days at the moment.
So does he want to take on d4, or does he just want to maintain the center?
We have more moves. Sorry, I keep missing them. So let's have a look. Oh, and I've just moved the board. I'm not very good at doing this. How do I move that back? Sorry, producer. Okay, there we go. Right. Let's have a look, Mr. Dodgy. So, well, he didn't. Maybe he should have taken there, because when he had the chance to, before White is able to take with a pawn, maybe he should have, because the way things are going now, Black was never able to take there. But okay, this is a very committal move from White, because White's just given up the square on c5. So this position, well, I would have thought Black should be all right now. He's got this lovely square for the knight, right? I mean, this is a beautiful square for that Black knight.
Yeah, this is kind of exactly what Black wants from this opening, isn't it? Like,
yeah, it is.
A good square for the knight and
Oh, definitely.
Although white can still maybe like rook b5, rook b1, maybe something like that.
Gang up on the weakness here, right? So makes sense as well. I mean, firstly, he's just overguarded the e4 pawn. Black's getting some ideas on the c file, and well, Angry Crown is copying your ideas there.
Oh no.
Oh,
He's in trouble.
I suppose the thing is, Black can always move the knight to this square, which defends everything. I mean, okay, he hasn't done that. He's gone for a much more aggressive move, trying to get the knight over to here, and white's gone back to guard against such ideas as that. This knight, he's thinking, can deal with all the threats. I mean, I'd be looking at trying to get f5 in. You know, if I was Black here, I'd probably just try to get this main break in. White's kind of turned down a draw now, so I think Black was offering the repetition, and Black's just sort of Black's not really showing much ambition here. And White, if anyone, he's following Mr. Dodgy's plan, might be improving his position a little bit in here. So
yeah, it's just difficult for him to do anything, I guess. Yeah. But look, can he play for f4 at some point? Maybe kick the queen first and then
f3 first and then f4. It's gone here. The other thing I was thinking, if I can get a knight to this square as white, which is a bit bizarre, but if I can get a white knight here, then you might not be able to hold your position together, right? So
yeah, is that what he's doing now? Is that the plan?
It could be.
Or is he going to like stop f5?
Playing very patiently, isn't he? Both sides are. And Black's now moving this knight around. They're dancing around a lot. Maybe it should be on the king side where white's going, and white has now decided to come on the king side. You can sort of play the other knight in, push the h-pawn to try and make some ways in as well. I'd be pushing this h-pawn now.
There's lots of knight dancing.
Yeah, there is. Just move the knight around as much as you can. Yeah, move the knight around all the time. Can't sit around. Black's played h5. It just seems fairly balanced, doesn't it? I mean, the way the maneuvering is, it's a fairly even position. Doesn't mean it's going to be a draw because most of the pieces on the board, both sides, very tense. Either side wins this game, they're through to the final. And there's quite a big money difference there as well. I mean, you get an immediate extra $500 because second place in the final is $1,000 and first place is $2,000. If you lose this match, you get $500, which is still not bad. Still not too shabby.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, is this, does Black have to be careful here? Because maybe white can go for g4 now.
I was thinking g4.
Because Black g5 is not really threatening anything, but g4 maybe does open things up for white.
Yeah. It does seem that this move g4 is something that white can always aim for, right? Especially now that Black's come off the h-pawn, right? And he's played
always good. G4 is always good.
It is. Mr. Dodgy, you are predicting white's moves. Are you the angry clown by the looks of it? You're doing very nice stuff, right?
I know G4 was, the engine said G4 was the best move now, but I did predict it the move before.
You did. You did. Come on, that was you. That was you. You had it. You had that move.
I usually predict G4, so I've got to be right sooner or later.
You're a bit of a hacker as well, Mr. Dodgy. Is that fair to say? Or
That's what people tell me.
You consider yourself a positional player then? No, okay.
Definitely not.
So I think what Ghostface is trying to do here, he has to give up this pawn because he can't give away the f5 square. So Black has given up the pawn. And I don't know if that was more forced to do it, but he's trying to at least get some blockade and counterplay himself, which seems like a wise idea. But this is probably now, yes, the white queen dives in and it looks like something has gone wrong for Black in this position. Still chances though, because I think Black's idea of giving that pawn up again the knight here was very clever is Black's only way to play. Now, the players left in the competition that haven't been unrevealed is Anish Giri. Maybe Anish is one of these two guys. Duda. Is Duda one of these two guys? And Pranav as well. And Pranav, is it right in thinking that Pranav is not even, hasn't even got a title, Mr. Dodgy?
Yeah, apparently so. Pranav is 2486 and he doesn't have a FIDE title. So
Another
only 15 is another one of these very, very strong young Indian players.
Yeah.
And yeah, he could be either of them.
Could be.
So if he's one of these players, then that means he's either beaten Duda or Anish.
Which is very impressive.
He's beaten one of them.
Yeah. And this game is, I mean, I think Black, both players playing very cleverly, but I think Black's done a great job from what was a dodgy position. I mean, like, White can attack D6, but Black has managed to get this counterplay at least on the king side. So it's also the time situation. Wow, I didn't see the time situation. Now, this seems like quite a risky idea to take the Black Knight away from this good square, but Black suddenly said, I'm going to go for it. I'm going for it. And very brave play, opening things up with G5 here. Is that the right way to play? I have no idea, but it's certainly a way to play. And he's got his knight now into G5. What's happening here, Mr. Dodgy? Is Black suddenly going for and he's got Rook G6 coming. Great play from Black here. This is getting dangerous for White. Maybe Black's got chances.
This does look quite scary for White.
Queen H2, Rook H6, or could it go to a playoff?
This
Rook
has been
G2.
a very interesting game, considering the last game was like just chaos, and then this one has been a very cagey affair. But I think they seem pretty balanced.
I think a draw is probably a fair result after Black's clever defense. And if White now plays Queen H2 or Queen H1, I think it's just going to be a draw by freefold. So they might go to an Armageddon. It's going to be a draw. It's a draw. So we have our first Armageddon game. So, okay. Wow. That was very cagey. That was a very cagey game. Definitely.
There's two very interesting games. I can't even remember the first game of the match.
No, neither can I. Don't ask me what happened in that one. I've got no idea what happened. And
they're started already.
Well, they don't mess around, do they? So
this is Armageddon. Angry Clown has to win with White, and a draw means Ghostface goes through to the final.
And the difference with this time limit, the one time I had Armageddon, I didn't realize this difference, and I only realized when I had 10 seconds left, which was a little bit late, was that you don't get increment. So in all the other games, you have 2 seconds added on a move. White starts for the extra minute, but there's no time added on, right? So it's which is a bit annoying. So
there's no time added on, and unlike some over the board versions, there's no time. Like some of the over the board Armageddons, you get an increment starting from move 60, but that's not the case here.
Yeah,
so there's no increment throughout the game.
Now, Unto Caesar is maybe predicting that actually we fooled everyone, and this could be Kasparov and Karpov, and they're going to rip off their masks at the end and be like, it was actually, I mean, that would be amazing, right?
That would be pretty good. Yeah.
Well, Chess24 and Chessboard, you would have excelled there. If you could pull that off, that would be something quite remarkable, I have to say. Which two players would you like to reveal their masks, at the end of it, that are still alive?
I think those two. Maybe Kramnik.
Kramnik would be good.
I think Magnus would play in something like this anyway, if he had the time. So I don't think Magnus would be as big a surprise as as Karpov.
Karpov would be a cool surprise, I think. Like an ex-world champion, especially Karpov, and also just getting Karpov to wear one of those masks would be a remarkable feat, I feel. So, by the way, this opening has gone, the difference with this, it seems to have gone rather horribly wrong for Black. D5 was played before, but the problem that's occurred in this game is that Black hasn't had a chance to go E5 in response. And if you can remember the game before, Black was able to get the pawn to this square, and he hasn't been able to do this here because the bishop is attacked. Why does this make a big difference? Because this move, knight d4, is coming. And as we see in the game, knight d4 does come. You can't move the pawn on d5 because the bishop's on pre. And look at these squares for the white knights. These white knights have two beautiful squares, and they're coming into those squares immediately. And this square on c6 is so, so strong. And the pawn on b6 has also dropped. So white has gone a pawn up, and he keeps his knight on this horrendously strong square. So Black's got to go desperate now. It should be a losing position for Black. But you never know. It's an Armageddon game.
But he has lost his time advantage now as well.
Yep. And time is extremely important.
Which color would you pick in Armageddon? White or black?
I would probably, it depends who I'm playing, but I'd probably pick white because I can be a bit naff with black sometimes because I don't keep up with theory. And with white, I like hacking, and I've got loads of different hacking openings I can wheel out. So I'd probably go white. I don't think most players would go white, but I would try and rely on my skill of winning the game rather than trying to hold a draw. I don't really know how to draw either. This is one thing I've never learned. I know how to lose. I'm very good at losing games and occasionally winning games, but this whole art form of drawing, I've never really mastered it, funnily enough. So what about you?
Not a big Berlin player then.
I'm not a massive Berlin player, as I feel a bit nauseous whenever I see it, kind of player, Berlin player. But would you go white or would you go black?
Yeah, I think I'd go white. I think you've got more control.
Yeah,
you like, it's clear what you have to do.
Yes. Does knight f5 win now, by the way? Just looking at little tactical ideas. I don't think it does, but it's very tempting to get the bishop in there. It could be your g4 move again as well. Just go g4 at the right moment. Oh, okay. The computer's giving g4. And just slowly open up the black king. This queen is so dangerous here.
Yeah, although even like rook g1 looks...
Oh, rook g1. That's very patient. That's a real patient move. Rook g1 and just slowly go through. Well, he's got the same idea. He's getting ready to play g4 and to come for the king. White's a pawn up. The time situation, okay. Still, black is still just about alive. Just about, I say.
Yeah, this...
Is he going to sacrifice here desperately? Somehow? Well, maybe he has to.
Does he get all three pawns there?
That's far too many moves to count that one. He gets a couple of pawns, does he? I think, yeah. It'd be quite cool if you did one of these as well, and you did it with celebrities, right? So like any sort of famous people are interested in chess. So as well as world champions, you had various like fans of chess who are well known, and they revealed their mask at the end. That'd be quite cool as well, I think. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, the game now, white has got his queen into the attack. He's always got to draw. He's not even material down for this. And with the bishop, g4 is coming, definitely. I mean, the bishop's also coming in here. And it's just one move to open up the rook. And I don't think black has any chances of surviving here. He's had to sacrifice his pieces, but it's now a clear, well, knight e7 wins. Probably the easiest way to win. And knight g6, and it's really game over now. You can always pick up the rook here if you want to, and he's just kept it simple. He's going to be a rook up, and that must be the end of the game now.
Yeah, he's got plenty of time.
Yeah.
There's only going to be a few more moves, I guess.
Yeah. So it looks like Angry Clown is going through. Ghostface put up a really good fight, though, right? I mean, incredibly strong fight.
That was definitely the closest match we've had so far.
Yeah, all the way to Armageddon. Well done, Angry Clown. So we know the final now is going to be Halloween Killer versus the Angry Clown. And I think Angry Clown is wearing a mask. There could be some chance of Ghostface looks very distraught there, I have to say, after losing that very close match. It's probably worse losing a close match because you know you have chances, and I'm sure at some point, Ghostface had some good chances in that match, especially in the last game where he must have been pressurizing. But we do know what the final is going to be. So the final is going to be Halloween Killer versus Angry Clown, which should start reasonably soon. We're hoping that we're going to get Ghostface to reveal his mask. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit upset after losing that last match, which was really close all the way through. And he did play some great chess at moments during that match. So hopefully he won't be too upset with the way it went. But let's see. Ghostface, can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, Ghostface.
Hello.
That was a very close match. So first of all, commiserations. It went all the way down to the wire. Would you like to reveal your mask for us as well, please?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Hello.
Do you want to introduce yourself to everyone in the chat?
Yeah, I am Pranav. I am from India, and I'm an IM, but not officially. Still have not got the title, but yeah. It is
One of the strongest players in the world who hasn't got a title. I think this is something like Kramnik did the same as you. I remember Kramnik was like 2,600, and then suddenly he became IMGM world champion. So maybe you've got the same route as Kramnik. So not all bad.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for playing. First of all, do you know who do you think you were playing there? Have you got any suspicions who the Angry Clown might be?
I thought it was Duda. That's not sure.
Okay, so you're thinking Duda there. Okay, so that's the prediction we got there, and
Yeah.
it was a very close match. Was there? Did you think you had some? Well, obviously you had some chances there, but it was a good match, yeah. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Went good and.
And Mr. Dodgy, do you have any questions? I've got to ask you that always.
Yeah. How old are you, Pranav?
I'm 15.
You're 15. So yeah, you're part of this generation of many very strong young Indian players.
Yeah.
Are we going to see you playing more of these events?
Yeah.
When's your next? Are you back to playing over the board tournaments and stuff?
Yeah. I am playing actually. I just in my previous tournament I got a GM.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks.
When's your next tournament?
I don't know. We have plan. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Well, I'm sure you'll be a grandmaster soon, and I think you've already shown that you can play against. Well, we're guessing some of the best players in the world. So if you're already giving them a challenge at the age of 15, you'll be a GM in no time. So keep up the good work, and
Thank you.
enjoy your Halloween. And we're now going to move on to the final. So goodbye there. Cheers. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Okay, so we do have the final now, Mr. Dodgy. I don't know if we're going to have a break while they get ready, or if we're going to go straight in. But the final is going to be a great match, right?
I think we're going to have a short break.
Okay, so
hopefully, I don't know.
all right.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a break. I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm looking
Good,
to see if
okay.
anyone has given me instructions, but
I'm just trying to have a look at the messages as well.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Good. So we're gonna take just a 5-minute break, and then we're back for the final of the special Chess 24 Halloween Bonanza, and we're gonna be seeing and talking to both of the players in the final, revealing who they are with their brilliant disguises. So we'll just take a 5-minute break before we go over to the final, and We'll be back very shortly.
Well, we're live and we are in the final now of. Sorry, I just looked at Mr. Dodgy's mask and I couldn't help but give a little laugh. We are
This
in the
is like
final.
the worst mask ever, isn't it?
I mean, it looks pretty good, Mr. Dodgy. I mean, like you got it's a proper horse's mask, that one. I have to say.
Yeah. The problem is like the eyes are not where your eyes are. So, like,
So the problem
Yeah.
is you can't see, you can't hear, and you may be struggling to breathe in that mask. But
but
apart from
other
that,
than that, I think I could play pretty good chess like this.
good stuff. So we see Mr. Dodgy has come according to the occasion, and he's got his mask on, his horse mask on, and you are famous. You're famous for your love of horses. Is that fair to say?
Well, it's mostly my wife's love of horses. But yeah, we do. We do have horses.
And I hope that is only a fake mask, isn't it? Of course.
Yeah, this is definitely, yeah. We do not encourage the removal of horses' heads.
No, you're not in The Godfather now, are you? So,
Not at
no.
the moment, no.
Okay, good. All right. So if you're wondering what is going on,
I'm hoping no one's just tuned in now.
then it is Halloween. So happy Halloween to everyone who's watching. And we're doing the Monster Mystery Tournament, the second one. We did one last year. And we have some of the best players in the world dressed up in masks. So we don't know who they are. Some masks better than others, I must admit. But it's come down to, a Halloween killer against the angry clown. And, well, these guys are both playing great chess. And it's just 3 games of 3 minutes plus 2 seconds to move. The winner taking $2,000 and the loser taking $1,000. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. Any predictions, Horsey Man?
I don't remember who the players are. I think the clown one is probably my pick because he's got a better mask. I respect that. I respect, someone who puts in a bit of effort.
I'm respecting that when I'm looking at your video recording, Mr. Dodgy. Do you think you'll be doing many streams with that mask on? I mean, does it get hot under there?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing much more of this stream with this mask on.
Well, I have to say, you are, at least for the cause, I have to give you credit just for going for it. So, and it is Halloween. We've all got to make a little bit of arses of ourselves. You see what I did there? Arses, they're
Yep.
kind of horsey like. I thought that was, quite clever for me for a change. And what are you actually doing? Are you going to do anything later on for Halloween? Is there any sort of things they do in Sweden that they do differently for Halloween? I mean, is
I'm
trick
not
and
sure.
treating?
I don't think we're going to do anything.
Do they still trick and treat in Sweden?
Yeah, we do, but we live like hundreds of miles from civilization. I'm going to take this mask off.
You're going to take it off. Okay. You take it off. We'll let you. You tried. And
I lasted as long as I could.
Oh, we can actually hear you now as well, which is quite handy.
That's always good. Well, depending on your opinion, I suppose.
No, it's good to hear you, definitely. Good to hear you. We're just waiting for one of the players. So it will start any second now. And the Halloween tournament. 2 very strong players left playing it out. And Mr. Dodgy, do you prefer living like in the middle of nowhere then? Are you more of a middle of nowhere man than a town person?
Oh yeah, for sure. I love living in the wilderness.
Yeah.
It's great. Your background, that's what it looks like outside my house. Sometimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Do you get the proper northern lights there?
Yeah. We're like right above the house. We don't have to go anywhere.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, brilliant. So it must be lovely, yeah?
Yeah, it's great. It's like we're not like too far from civilization. We're about 20 miles from a town.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Must be lovely. So different places. And just I'm following the chat myself, and I know it's probably being shown in a couple places, but I've only got 2 eyes, which are just about cloaking out the mask on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GingerGM. So I wonder where everyone is watching this and what you're all doing for Halloween. So do let me know in the chat how you're celebrating Halloween, or if you are celebrating, if you're ignoring it, if you're doing trick or treating, or even where you are. Someone asking, do they still have Guy Fawkes Day in England? Yeah, of course they do. They have Guy Fawkes Day. It's kind of where it originated, England, trying to blow up the Houses of Parliament. So it still goes on here, which is most annoying for cats, as I have cats, if they do it too much. But we're in with the game. We have the Angry Clown and Halloween Killer. And Halloween Killer has the white pieces in this first game. A bit of an advantage. That's supposed to be against the Angry Clown. And the Angry Clown, his mask still looking good there. I think it's a mask rather than makeup. And Halloween Killer, well, I wonder who that could be. Big game. 3 minutes plus 2 seconds to move. And this is a solid position by looks of it. This is going to be a more solid game, this one. Right?
Yeah, this looks like they're taking this pretty serious.
Yeah, they're playing for a difference of $1,000, aren't they, as well? That's not bad. They could buy a decent mask for that money, right? So
well, but one of them could. One of them already has one, to be fair. I think this is a longer match as well. I think this is best of 5.
Okay, right.
I should know the rules, but
I should know the rules as well. But
I think this one is best of 5 and then Armageddon.
Okay, best of 5 games. So okay, yes, it is. We're being seen. So thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. So it's not 3 games, it's best of 5. I didn't realise that. So
it's the final. Big pressure. So we've got like longer to try and guess who the players are. So we can really drag this out for 5 games. Like, we can really milk it.
Yeah. Well, I have to admit, I do think that Halloween Killer is a bit more easy to recognize, but Angry Clown could be a number of people. And it could even be Magnus having a break from his preparation for the World Championships. I mean, the problem with Halloween Killer's uniform is that it seems to jump a little bit in and out of, like, which is quite funny. But the position, let's go back to the game. So very solid position so far. And White's trying to prove a small advantage with his bishops cutting across the board. And he has this central pawn, which will probably get exchanged, but he's going to then rely on his, he can play stuff like e4 potentially. His rooks can come here, but Black's got no weaknesses at all here. He has put his rook in the middle of the board. So I don't think Black will be, if you're going to play this kind of opening, this is the kind of position you're going to have to expect from both sides. Very solid. Probably we would predict a draw at this moment in time, but
yeah. Do you think these guys have played each other a lot over the past year, so they might have even had this exact position?
They might well have done, yeah.
They must have played a bunch of games in the Champions Chess Tour this season.
Well, if they did play in the Champions, well, actually, don't we know who the players are for elimination now?
Yeah, we don't know which one is which.
No, it's really hard to tell which one is Anish and which one is Duda. But apart from that, they must have played a lot. Yeah, so we can now probably say that, unless it's Magnus Carlsen, of course, the hidden gift. Okay, but yes, they must have played each other many times, and again, it is fairly even. This is a slightly peculiar decision there to give up your bishop on this square. I mean, I would have thought this bishop's quite nice, and giving it up for the knight is something I wouldn't have considered doing. And this is also a slightly strange decision on purpose, doubling your pawns. So things have changed a little bit now, and I would have thought that this should have helped white a bit because he can go f4. That bishop is still a very nice piece. And it is nice potentially having two bishops in the ending. If you can get the queens off, you can push for an advantage with the two bishops. Black's still very solid, though. The knight here is a good piece, and a5 secures it on that square because you can't play b4, kicking it away. But I'm surprised Black took on f3. For me, that was a little bit of an odd decision, but I'm sure there was some sense behind it.
Is this like one of these positions where he doesn't care about the diagonal because there's nothing on it?
Yeah, and
Like he just says that like white can just control all these squares because there's, yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, often, let's say white ever gets a pawn to f4. A lot of people would say, oh, this bishop is really good because look at it, it's going all the way to the other side of the board. But as Mr. Dodgy has pointed out, in actual fact, it's not attacking anything. So it's not an amazing piece because it has nothing it can capture or do with. But I would have still have thought that if you get to an ending, the bishop can gain a lot of squares. But maybe Black's decision was just a very clever one because he's saying, well, my knight is just as good as your bishop, which it does look like it is. And with more pieces getting exchanged, the only tactic now, can he grab on a5? This is, well, that might have been something he could have tried. The idea of pawn takes, then grabbing the knight, no? If we go back to this position here, was this something that was worth considering? Just trying to take some advantage of the knight being undefended there? And
is this maybe because it's opposite colored bishops? It's maybe harder to win.
It was, yeah, maybe harder to win. We'll see if my computer can handle the position now. Otherwise, I might have to do a quick close and open, I'm afraid. Maybe I'll do that now very quickly, actually. So I'll just, okay, let's do that. I haven't seen it like that. Okay. Is this one on it? Is this it? Just make sure I've got the right link. Maybe this is it. Let's see. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. My computer decided it couldn't handle the pace of this ending, and it decided to have a little boo-boo there. But I don't think we missed a great deal. Just going over the moves, it did always look very solid, and we last had a look around this position, not too much to report, and as soon as Black now manages to swap off this piece, you can't take the knight because of bishop takes f2 check, winning the queen. And as soon as Black is able to get this opposite colored bishop position, it's clearly going to end in a draw. There's not any weaknesses in the pawn structure for both sides. Black's a little bit more active, but it doesn't matter. White manages to consolidate his position, everything defended, and the first game ends in a very safe draw there. So yeah, not too much to report there, Mr. Dodgy, in that game. They started.
Yeah, so I guess knight bishop takes a5 was probably a better try then, because you end up in the same end game but with an extra pawn. But yeah. I guess there's not too much difference.
Yeah. So the one point was in this position here, instead of bishop e1, there was an opportunity for white to play bishop takes a5, which would have given better chances to have won the game. But we are in with the next game now. So it's 5 games. There's 4 left, and the first one ended in a draw. angry clown now with the white pieces. And let's hope we get a little bit more action in this game. That was a bit too positional for my means there, I think. I want to see some more tactics. And the mask is coming off. You know, I've got a scarier face to deal with. So Queen C2. This is quite a popular variation. Very solid again. They've got a lot of respect, I guess, for each other, these players, haven't they, Mr. Dodgy? A lot of respect.
Yeah, I think as we get closer to the end, they'll start to take risks.
Take more risks. Yeah. Now, who
I don't think they respect each other too much. They respect each other enough, just not too much. There we go.
There we
Castle
go.
Queenside.
That's more like it. That's more of a fun move, because normally in this position, the normal way to play is you put your king on the king side, but castling king side is a move. Oh, and look at the reply here, B5. I love it. And black is basically saying, okay, you can win my pawn on B5, but then I'm going to get this open file. So white does what looks to me like a natural way, where wherever your king is placed, you want to keep that area of the board closed. So black playing C5, just trying to keep his king as safe as he can. And in these kind of position, white often sort of comes with this kind of idea, H4, some little ideas there. Black might even be able to break in the center with E5, though. So very risky move, Mr. Dodgy, castling kick queenside for white. Brave move.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like we're going to get some fun here.
Definitely. Even something like G4 is not completely mental at some point. You don't really care about your pawns if you're going to get open lines to attack. Well, maybe for these guys it's a bit mental, but it's the kind of move I'd be certainly considering playing here. Bishop D3, developing a piece first. And I'm assuming if E5 is played, we have to take on E5 and do a lot of exchanges. So who won this event last year? I do know the answer, Mr. Dodgy, but it was it was Peter Fiddler, was it? Is that right?
Yeah, it was Peter Fiddler won the final against Hari Krishna. But this year they're both playing in the Grand Swiss. There's a lot of people playing at the Grand Swiss just now.
There's a lot of players there. That's right.
I think it's very inconvenient that they scheduled the Grand Swiss to clash with Halloween.
Yeah, it was a bit inconsiderate of them, you know, to do this. But but the best mask last year was Peter's Fiddlers. Did you say, or the worst mask, or a bit of combination?
Exactly. The best and the worst mask. He won both prizes.
The best and worst mask. And what was the mask? Can you tell us? I mean, people can Google it. It was the first, I don't know, you know, you can Google it somehow, Halloween Chess 24 competition, but what was the mask? What was it actually of?
It was of a lady.
Just the lady.
Just a lady.
Just a lady. Okay. We'll leave it there.
And if you want to look it up, you can do that.
It did.
My favorite one was Peter Heine Nielsen's mask that like barely covered his beard, so you could see kind of most of his face.
Was it as good as Halloween Killer's mask?
It's going to be hard to beat this one. Well, no way. It's going to be incredibly easy to beat this for next year.
Okay, now back to the game. A5 played, and you know, just looking at its position briefly, I would say I quite like white's position. This is much more interesting than the last game because the knight is here. But with that bishop and that clever move A5, getting ready for that bishop to come into D3, white has to do something about that. So white's had to move his knight away from the center. And I guess the idea now is he's either going to bring it this way or this way to defend against the bishop coming in here. He's got to guard that square. So I would be thinking, well, what if G5? But then the knight will come to D5, and it has ideas of coming to F6. And G5 is very committal. You weaken the black king. But there's other ways black can play this. I mean, you can even try something crazy like this. But interesting position here. This is much more entertaining than the last game, Mr. Dodgy.
Yeah, like G5 and then just maybe King G7. And B3 looks fun as well.
B3 looks like a good idea, right?
B3, and then if he takes, it just goes Rook B5.
Yeah, just trying to bring the Rook in to attack the king.
Okay, this is really heating up now. They've both got a minute left, and he has just played rook b5, and he's just aiming to come through here. Now, he's got to be a bit careful, because if you go rook takes b3, I might better go queen takes b3. And this position will probably just end up with white coming out of it very good. The ending looks quite bad for black generally because of the
Is
pawn
there
here.
bishop d3?
Bishop
maybe?
d3, I might better
Take.
take it this way, I
Yeah,
think,
okay.
in the position. But he has, well, he's gone after rook d1. He's now gone g5. So what a move that is. That is one of those moves which, well, I mean, how do you stop this knight coming to f6 and queen c3 is playable? G5 is a very, and you can see the evaluation bar has gone, it really dislikes that move, because now the white knight has suddenly, I mean, you didn't need to weaken your king like that. You didn't need to weaken f6. And with the idea,
I guess he was planning like knight d5, king g7.
Yeah,
maybe.
So let's have a look. So here looked like the natural way to play, and then something,
Or at least
like,
you can just move the queen somewhere. But when it comes to h5, you can't move the queen.
That's right. Yeah, good point. So in this variation, you can move the knight here, but after knight h5, you can't move the queen here because of the back rank checkmate. The rook just comes in here. So I'm not even sure if, okay, we have some more moves. The rooks come to f5, and now the queen has come to c3, threatening checkmate. And I think this is just crumbling because white's rook might be coming in as well. I'm not sure if you can defend. I mean, if you go f6, I just take it, actually. Okay, he's had to play f6. Oh, look at that. Queen takes. That's a little bit flash, isn't it? He even takes for the queen, just trying to swap more bits off. No time for Halloween Killer. And first blood goes for the angry clown, Mr. Dodgy.
Yep.
2 games down.
That was a nice finish.
Very nice finish. So knight to h5 was the move that black certainly missed there. And instead, after f6, or taking with the knight, which maybe allowed black some chances with the bishop coming in, he played that more tactical idea. But it's the 3rd game, and Halloween Killer now is 1 point down. So he needs to get a win on the board. And he plays a rather sharper line, and this could get very interesting. G5, bishop g3, knight h5, and we have queenside castling, this time from the Halloween Killer, who's a point down. Game 3 of 5.
Castling kingside looks interesting.
I had a game like this myself against some very strong Armenian grandmaster, and I got the same position as white has here, and I thought, oh, I must be just winning here with a pawn on g5, but he played very well, and I wasn't quite able to break through. But you would imagine that white must be very happy here, because this pawn would want to be back a bit more defending the king, right? I mean, you take white here, would you, Mr. Dodgy?
Yeah, for sure. But then I would probably lose. So it doesn't really mean anything.
You're a dangerous player, Mr. Dodgy. You're a dangerous hacker. We've seen some of your hacks. I've been on the receiving end of some of your hacks. You've hacked your way past me on a good fair few games. So A5, and it's a little bit similar to the last game in some respects, isn't it? That, you know, we're going to get this maybe idea of black just going on the queen side, but white coming over here. And maybe not so bad for Angry Clown, because he does now. I don't know why white moved his knight to this square. It looks a bit peculiar. Okay, 2 more moves though. More pieces get exchanged, the less weak black's king becomes. Knight g4 played. Just trying to exchange off that knight as well. And I don't think this is too bad for black anymore. Maybe white missed some chance earlier on. Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Bishop f5. Still got this weakness of the f5 square, which he doesn't have to checkmate. He can play it a bit positional as well. And that's why I think you had to take this way. Let's just show that, because if you take the bishop, at some point, I'm going to go g4, and my knight is going to get to the f5 square forever. So you had to make sure you exchange the right piece there. This would be a good position to show people who are trying to improve positional chess. Which piece do you take, the bishop or the knight? and by exchanging the knight, in this case, that knight had a lot more potential. So that was certainly the right piece to exchange there. And rook to c1 being played. Whoa.
Bishop takes d4.
I think Angry Count has bishop takes d4, which he must be thinking about in this position. Let's have a look. Bishop takes d4. Is this a blunder? I mean, I can take on h6 here. We haven't had a move yet, but we're wondering if bishop takes d4 is a move that Angry Clown can play. And he's having a think about this. Has he played it? Well, let's have a look. If I take on h6, do you just play something like rook to b5?
Yeah, I think having the diagonal open for the bishop is the most important thing.
He has taken it. We're going to see this. Bishop takes here. Rook takes h6. And bishop g7, queen h5, d4. The rook coming and attacking. This is all a bit crazy though, right? I mean, this pawn actually quite scary. It kind of looks like the black king is weak, but in actual fact, the bishop on g7 is just such a good defender.
Yeah, and then rook eight, there's just nothing after rook h8.
I don't think so. If you go rook h8, you know, the king.
That's it.
This is
just nothing.
It's nothing. Yeah, the rook defends that check and there's nothing else. So that was it. This d4, very important move. Maybe the move that Anish or whoever looks like in that mask is, the Halloween killer, missed.
Could be anybody.
Whoever that
the move that Gary missed.
The move that, yeah, or Karpov missed there. It could have been d4. Okay, well, they bishop has come back to d3. What happens if I now take on e3? And the thing is, if Halloween Killer loses this game, he's 2 down, which is going to be really tough to come back with. Yeah, that was certainly my first blunder of the day there, I feel.
I think that's pretty good. We're 3 hours in now.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not, could be worse. At least I didn't start calling their names out from the first game, you know.
I almost did a few times.
It's very easy to do, isn't it? You know, especially when that mask is so bad. I'm just like, I'm looking at him and thinking, oh yeah, Halloween. I have to keep calling him the Halloween Killer, and it's like, oh, you know. Anyway, okay. Rook f5. Now, White's kind of in a do or die situation. I mean, he's got to try and make some tactics work here. It still seems very complicated. I know the computer says that Black's completely winning here, but I'm looking at this position and I'm thinking, well, I'd be scared if I was either color here, because I know rook h8 wasn't working before, but it's always hanging there. So even though the computer really liked Black position, it's not, you know, you've got to be a little bit careful. I mean, I guess you can take on e3, which he has done, but it's surely not as good as the computer thinks here, is it?
Yeah, I guess it just looks scary, and I guess it just doesn't
do
work
anything.
out. But then you have to kind of work out where Black can go wrong.
Well, rook h8. If we take, queen takes, just king is very safe on e7, especially with the rook here stopping any rook check. Rook d1 could be another idea, but does that really help me? I just moved the queen, I'm guessing. I've got to be a bit careful after this move. Like, don't move the queen to e7, for example, because then this would be checkmate. So rook d1 is on the board. At least it keeps some of the initiative going. And I say White does have initiative, and it threatens, it gets another piece into the game. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, I guess he is going to play queen b6, though, because there's no other square for the queen.
Yeah,
he's kind of forced to find the right move.
And he's found it. And it's nice to threaten mate in 1, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
12 seconds for Halloween Killer, though. 12 seconds. And,
This is mate.
Queen b3 is a beautiful mate. If you, look at that. Is Queen b3 mate?
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a nice mate, right?
Very nice.
That is a really nice checkmate. There you go. Very nice game, Angry Clown. And Angry Clown, he shows no emotion at all, does he? He would be a very scary serial killer, I feel.
He's
Yeah,
very
just-
serious clown. He's not clowning around.
Very nice, Mr. Dodgy. Very nice.
So the clown only needs a draw in
Yeah.
the last game. Or
It's-
in the next game, should I say.
That's it. And the game has started already, and it's 2.5 out of 3 for the Angry Clown out of 5 games, right? So Halloween Killer needs to win the next 2, and he started with quite a solid opening here. If it's a draw, it's enough. Any chance Halloween Killer can do it?
It can happen. I think he should have started with 1b6 though.
In honor of Lawrence Trent's latest course.
Yeah, I think he should have done that.
Are you a 1b6 player?
I've never played 1b6. Is that one of the ones you've messed around with?
I've done a lot of crap in my time, but I've never done that crap.
Wow. Okay, well that's
I'm joking.
not the
I'm
greatest
joking.
endorsement.
No, 1b6 is actually a pretty decent move. I play it against d4, and it's a great way to get white out of theory and get an interesting position. But the reason I haven't played 1b6 against e4 is I generally don't like getting cramped positions. But the good thing is you get lots of chances to burst out of 1b6. So it's just not, the positions are not always in my style. Hence why I haven't always played it. h4 by the Angry Clown. He only needs a draw, but he's, again, this often when you get the queen here, I think he will castle queenside. I've played this variation as white. This idea of bringing the knight to the square can be very scary combined with e5. So, I mean, let's say c5 is played, or you play something else. Let's say you play a developing move like this, where you'd have to watch out for e5 and then knight g5. And this is a pattern well worth remembering, where black has to be very careful in this kind of position, because the ideas against h7 can be very dangerous. So black, in a must-win situation, has gone e5. And if knight takes, he's planning to take on d4. So pawn takes, and now he's going knight g4, bishop c4. And he's going to, I'm assuming, try to win this pawn, as he has done by bringing his knight out. So he's taken some risks, which he really needed to do, right?
Yeah. So, but how does he get the pawn back? Does he just not get the pawn back?
I don't know if he will, no. After bishop f4, for example, right?
Yeah.
Okay, e6 played. Wow. Okay, f5. Wow. I'm not sure I'm believing this from Halloween Killer. This looks really, really wild. I mean, he gives up another pawn. What is this? Castles. What's going on now? This has suddenly gone crazy. Knight takes f2. Bishop g5. What's happening here, Mr. Dodgy? I don't know. What's going on?
Yeah.
This has gone completely mad. Pawn takes f5. Black is material up now, but this is scary. Rook d7, increasing the pressure. All the white's pieces dangerously poised here. If Halloween Killer can hang on, he's got chances because of the extra material, but can he hang on here?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening in this position.
No, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. I'm assuming with knight d5 and these kind of things that white has all the pressure here, and I'm not even sure. I'm maybe just going to take on c6 as well. So it's a little bit scary, at least.
Yeah.
A little bit scary.
The computer wants queen h5, and then you just take the piece. Like what?
Okay, I don't understand that.
I'm trying to understand why it wants queen h5, but I don't.
If the computer is recommending queen h5 here, I'm kind of thinking black's position is rather desperate. And he's gone rook d8, which seems more human, but now just rook takes c7. Okay, and now we're threatening the bishop, and black can't move many pieces here. Bishop takes g5, okay.
So just knight takes, and then you're threatening
Ooh.
f6.
Knight takes is a sexy move, right? f6 coming up. So something like knight takes, let's say the bishop moves,
Or even
f6.
no, you can't play rook takes g7.
Rook takes G7 here.
No, takes and
After this one, Rook takes.
yeah.
Oh, very nice. And then with the idea of
I
going
don't
here,
think it works, but
it still looks scary. Okay, well, something similar has happened in the game. So let's have a look. So bishop takes, knight d4, f6. Whoa, look at that. Offering the queen. Wow. That is a move and a half, right?
yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
I feel like they're playing a different game from the one that we're watching.
they are playing some crazy chess, right? Angry Clown has just gone turbocharged here. And let's have a look. Well, you have to, if you can't take the queen, you're just going to be losing. And White's idea, I think, is to take here with check. And if king g8, go here, check. And what is this position? And Halloween Killer has resigned because this position is immensely beautiful. But the point being, one of the nicest checkmates is if king takes, we could take on d8 with check, but this one is even preferable because now you check the king and black might be thinking, okay, I can go king takes queen, but you just slip the knight in there and that is checkmate. What a wonderful, wonderful finish to the game there. So this is why Halloween Killer resigned, meaning the Angry Clown is the champion. And after pawn takes g7, well, you have to take the queen. There's no way out here. e7, you can't take this one. The only other move is rook to f7. And there's a number of ways to win here, but this is probably the simplest, just to take here and you're going to take all the pieces. That was a nice finish, wasn't it, there?
Yeah, that was very impressive, I think. I don't think you should have made him angry.
No, the Angry Clown was certainly angry and played some very, very good chess there. So we are now, it's great. We're now going to hopefully hear from both players. And we're just going to get them in for a final chat of the day. We have a winner and we're going to get them to take off both their masks so we can see who they are. They can do the big reveal and yeah, ask them any questions. So Mr. Dodgy, get your questions prepared now. You know, just get them ready. No? Nah. So do we have a big surprise? Is it going to be Kasparov who takes his mask off? Magnus Carlsen? Bobby Fischer even? Who could it be?
I hope it's Lawrence. If it's Lawrence, this will be the best tournament ever.
If Lawrence Trent now took off the mask of the winner after that brilliant last game, to be honest, I think his mask would have already been off by now. He'd be jumping around the room if it was. I mean, most people would after that lovely victory. And just to let everyone know that win decided the prizes, and there was $5,000 in total prizes, and first place got $2,000, and second place $1,000. So it looks like we are at least joined by the winner. Hopefully we'll get the runner-up in the chat as well. Not sure, but let's say hello to the winner. So Angry Clown, how are you doing, sir? Can you hear us? Hello, and we do have the runner-up as well. Angry Clown, can you hear us there?
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, I'm totally fine and pleased with the games I have played, to be honest.
Okay.
Especially the couple last games were kind of, very nice to play.
Well, congratulations.
Nice from my opponent that he allowed me to be checkmated.
That last game must have been very nice to finish in such a beautiful way.
Yeah.
And we've also got the runner-up, Halloween Killer. And Halloween Killer, I think you can take your mask off now. And actually, Halloween Killer,
yeah,
you can actually now speak. Hello, Halloween Killer.
Thank you.
Oh my words, it's Anish. No one knew it was Anish for that mask.
Totally shocking.
And well, that was a tough final, Anish. But
yeah, I think I wasn't ready to play. To be honest, I don't know. Like the games were of a very, very low quality from my part. All of the games, I think.
little bit tough there. Yeah, I mean, you didn't have as many warm-up games as some of the other players because your opponent the first round.
Yeah, I don't need warm-up. I mean, I play like 1,000 games a year, so something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I need the warm-up. It's just that I think sometimes you're not in the right. Right pace, the right pace, and like I played like some last game I played like it was a bullet game, and some mistakes before were unfortunately was not really able, because the semi-final of Young Christoph with Pranav was really good. I think the fight was on, and
it was.
I wish I was also able to put up a better fight in the final, but okay.
Yeah,
not meant to.
And I think Angry Clown, you can take your mask off now as well, so we can. And I think most people did guess who you were. A couple of people thought you might have been secretly Kasparov or Magnus Carlsen there, but well done there on a great victory. I mean, it was. Have you guys ever played with masks like that on before? It must have been at least a little bit different, right? Was it something you'd like to do again, maybe next time you play?
Yeah, I haven't played before, and it's actually quite, not so easy to play in the mask. But I very much like the idea, of playing against an anonymous opponent. Of course, I knew the final I was playing against English, but before, I didn't know actually who I'm playing against. And because actually this Indian guy, Pranav, right, won against Jones, and I even didn't follow, who qualified to this tournament, and I didn't know my opponent at all, so I very much like the idea.
It kind of makes a nice change when you don't know who you're playing and you don't know what the preparation is, and you kind of have to guess a little bit. It's a nice, a bit different to your normal competitions you're playing, I'm sure. So
but this tournament, I think almost all of the people play like random lines, like almost preparation, just playing for fun. It's Halloween event, and many crazy games, of course.
Yeah. And Anish, are you celebrating Halloween with your family at all?
No, we don't really do that here.
No. Okay.
I think it's, I don't know, it's kind of a very Western tradition, I guess. And I think they do that a lot in States. In Holland, they do as well. With here, more my household. We don't really do that. I think we're all scared of the, of the spooky stuff. So I remember one time I entered this Halloween store with my son. He was not enjoying it at all.
Okay, he got a bit scared by the masks.
Yeah. Not only. These Halloween shops, you can't imagine the things they have there. I think it's just crazy stuff. But overall, I think it's a fun idea. I think it was like the execution of it in this particular event is sort of more for the show. I don't think, like, for example, Jan also, like, it's very clear to guess who is who if you are a bit aware. But in general, to play unknown opponents is pretty cool. I think that's that's kind of fun. But I kind of knew all my opponents today, so.
Okay, so next time we'll have to get better disguises or something as well. So
there is no need to have a camera at all. If you ask me, you can just put some default like wobbly head of some kind. Anyway, like, who cares? Put some kind of a clown that is going back and forth, and some kind of a mummy or whatever. Like, and they just move on their own, like some animations, and it doesn't matter.
It's quite funny seeing the players in masks as well. It was quite amusing.
No, I think I think the torture. I think it's mostly the torture. The people
I think the torture was fun. Yeah,
for sure. We know we are like here on Chess 24 events. We are always religiously following these CO2 levels, and so on. I think that in my brain, there's definitely way too much CO2 accumulated over the last couple of games, judging from the moves.
Yeah, and I think those masks cutting off the CO2 a bit different. And Jan, do you do Halloween over in Poland at all? Is it something that happens there? Are you going to watch a horror film maybe later?
Yeah, not really. It's not really celebrated. I guess some young people celebrate it, but overall, we are kind of Christian country, and Halloween is considered to be anti-Christian. So
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's a very conservative country, we can say.
Okay. So not so much.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Dodgy, do you have anything to add? Anything to say?
I've got no questions. Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that was easy. And guys, well, again, I don't know if you want to add anything else, but well done, Jan, on the victory. Unlucky there, Anish. Next time. Ed, before you do go, maybe we can just get a quick prediction for the World Championships coming up. Be interesting to hear your thoughts on that. And I'll start with Anish. Do you have any prediction on how the World Championships might go at all?
I'm going to be a professional commentator, so I have to find topics to speak for 100 hours or whatever. So if I start to speak about World Championship predictions already now, I'll run out of content for my professional commentary.
Anish, are you saying that you're in danger of running out of things to say?
Definitely.
Oh wow!
Okay. So you're not working on Team Magnus then, like
why not?
The leaked photographs?
Yeah, I'm working on the leaked photographs. That's what I would say.
All right. And Jan, do you have any predictions you'd like to say about the World Championships? Anything you'd like to talk about there? Or
yeah, I mean, I guess Magnus is career favorite because he has just more experience. But yeah, of course, it's generally not to say to be smart before the event. So. Yeah, it will be, of course, very nice to watch, and I will go to Dubai myself also to watch the match. So,
okay,
yeah, kinda happy, this match is happening right now.
Okay, well, that'd be great. It'd be great to be over there. All right, well, look, thank you both of you. We'll let you go now, and thanks for taking part in this fun tournament. And we look forward to listening to Anish's commentary and to seeing Duda play again, who of course beat Magnus Carlsen in the final of the World Cup. So well done about that. It was a great victory, and I'm sure you both got a lot of great chess left. So see you later, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. Just to end the show, I'm assuming we'd like to thank everyone who's been watching this fun Chess24 Halloween special. So always fun to do something a little bit different. And I love the idea of the masks. It's nice to sort of, just try something else, We will now give a raid over, so there'll be more chess action coming up. And thank you to the producers who have helped put this show together. And also a big, big thank you to Mr. Dodgy, who's always a pleasure doing the commentary with. And Mr. Dodgy, do you have anything to say, or are you done today?
Thanks for watching. Thank you very much, Simon, for doing all the chess work today. I think most of the players were Chessable authors, and their courses are on sale just now. So, buy some courses. I think your courses are on sale as well, Simon. My courses are also on sale, but I'd like to say don't buy them because I'd prefer you to pay full price.
That's very crafty. Very crafty.
And I get more money.
Better that way. But do check them out. Yeah, go and check out all the Chessable courses. It's maybe the last day of sales now. So
yeah, it's the last day of the Halloween sale. I think it ends tomorrow morning or something. So save some money.
That's it. Save some money. Get something. Good. All right. Well, have a happy Halloween, everyone. And we'll just do a little raid now. And thank you so much, everyone, come along. Time to whack on a horror film now and chill out, I think. So cheers, guys. And
thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.